Now live.
Went to the park to get the scoop. Knuckleheads out there, cold shoes and hoops.
What's up? This T-Shirt Kings 247.com. I recently researched all the other internet sites that sell shirts like we do. And by far, we are the cheapest. With us, you order 20 shirts, you get 60% off. You order 50 shirts, you get 65% off. It's hard for me to properly articulate the deal you're getting because it's so damn good. T-ShirtKings247.com, 937-603-4494. Whatever you need, we bring it right to your door.
Yes. Magic Hollywood, bro.
What was up with the Sesame Street countdown?
Well, that gave me enough time to go get me some water because I was so thirsty.
All right, let's get started.
That's what we calling it now, so it's okay. You're muted, bro.
All right, everyone, we welcome y'all back to another episode of the Shits and Giggle podcast. I'm Remy G. We got Ahava and TA. So let's get it. As we get started today, let's give out a shout to our brother at a Starstruck podcast, Carlos Knox, for getting a promotion today, being promoted to assistant coach for the Notre Dame women's basketball team. Shout outs to Los Knox. Good job, bro. What's y'all take on our brother getting a promotion and moving up out here? Yeah, I'm muted, cuz.
Yeah,
we can't hear you.
But what I say is just extremely proud for Los, especially from the city that we've come up with. You're always excited to see them do well. You're always proud to see someone from the town that's, doing it on the large stage. And I think it's just well deserved for Los. He's put in the work, he's earned it. And I think that, the sky's the limit. He's built some great relationships as evident by, the work he's doing on his podcast. And then you see the success of the basketball team. He definitely has a huge part as far as what he's contributed to the team and their success. So big ups to him, and you happy to see him, and he makes the city proud when you get a chance to see him on the sidelines and doing his thing. So it's nothing but love, and excited for him with what the future holds for him in the next step, in the next chapter for him.
Yeah, and I second that, man. Just watching coming up from, like I said, us starting to play t-ball, baseball together and everything, and y'all playing Meadowdale Pee Wee football together also. So just the rise to see where he come from a kid all the way now to a grown man, and then watching the journey from transitioning from a player to a coach, being a men's coach in different leagues overseas and stuff like that, and then starting to train Tamika Catchings, and then seeing that transition go from just being basically like a skill development volunteer with Indiana Fever to at one time being a head coach of the Indiana Fever. But now I'm just doing big things at Notre Dame, and you're seeing the progress of their girls with the work that he put in as a strength and as the skill development specialist. So, man, I'm just proud of my brother, man. So, again, salute to him, and everybody out here in podcast world, go check out his podcast, the Starstruck Podcast, because his last episode with Penny Hardaway was a really good one. What you got to say, cuz?
Am I back? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Man. But as far as Los, man, I just think it's all to be expected, you know. He's just a great coach, and Los is a winner. I mean, he's won everywhere he's went, and everywhere he goes, I see the team get better just like that. Even when he was overseas coaching, I remember Los was like in some some Middle Eastern country, and he went over there and got a championship, man. So, you know, anywhere he goes, I see just a process of getting better. So, you know, I expect this, and I expect a lot more for Los, as well as the podcast game too. One thing that I talked to bro about is, man, Los has a huge personality, bro. He's like one of the funniest people, man. Micah, Los, man, something about them, bro. They just natural being is just funny how they just, you know what I'm saying, project whatever it is they're talking about. So I look forward to seeing, you know what I'm saying, like as Los gets more comfortable in his space and he becomes just more known in the podcast world, which is happening. It's happening right now. Like they're gonna see a great dude, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely happy to see him do it, but I expect it. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely. What we got on the agenda for today, cuz? Back to you as the host.
Yeah, man. You know, Shedeur Sanders to me is becoming, man, somewhat of a George Floyd. I think that his story is becoming bigger than the sport itself, and we're starting to look into like what's going on. I see there's a lot of like racial divides around a lot of different subjects. I mean, man, things happen and then boom, you see the teams form that's going to be rallying behind both sides. And it seems like Shedeur Sanders, for whatever reason, is becoming one of these racially charged stories, but I haven't heard anybody start saying it just like that yet. But that's what I'm thinking. And I think that the NFL has a stigma about how they treat Black players attempting to play quarterback. And then you have a whole DEI movement that's being charged by these far right MAGA tough guy people that just say, you know, listen, bro, somewhere, somehow, there is a white person who is more qualified to do that job. And I think that this is what we're seeing with Shedeur Sanders is just essentially just MAGA putting their foot down and saying, no, somewhere, somehow, there's another white person that is more qualified to do this job, and you are not going to get it just because you're Black. And I think that DEI, a lot of times, it gets looked at like a Black person is coming in trying to get a job, and they're only getting it because they're Black and not because they're equally qualified. To me, what DEI is supposed to represent is to level the playing field from the playing field that was not level for so long. And now we're trying to just, man, make everybody equal some kind of way. There's the equality in there, trying to equal out the injustices that have been done in the past. And so Shedeur Sanders is not a DEI candidate. He's more than qualified. He's the better candidate. But in the mind of these MAGA people, it's no way that a black person could ever be equal with a white counterpart just off of pure genetics, social standing, where you come from, upbringing, so on, so forth. So now Shedeur Sanders, it's not open and shut DEI, but I see the framing of DEI. I see the movement of the pushback held down and all of the stigmatisms that's been held, the tropes, if you will, that's been held over black men in this country about not being sufficient when it comes to intelligence. And this quarterback position is the gold standard of intelligence in American sports. And I see how the teams are forming. I see how this divide is happening. And like Bone has said, though, like, even though I feel this strongly about Shedeur in whatever way, man, for every one of me, there's 2 or 3 that feel the opposite way, that Shedeur is not better than Dillon Gabriel. Because, and then I'll get off, because I know I have been talking for a while. I want to give you guys a chance to talk. But where this is all stemming from, what I'm talking about is after Shedeur Sanders went out in that preseason game and outperformed every other Browns quarterback, let alone Dillon Gabriel, he just went out there and performed, right? And we all thought that this was a quarterback competition based on performance when it mattered most, which would be the preseason game, because they're all getting limited reps in practice. And still, after Shedeur Sanders performed the way that he did versus how Dillon Gabriel performed the way that he did, Shedeur is still number 4 on the depth charts. And you have these old dog whistle statements of he can't read the playbook. He's not grasping the playbook enough. He's not all just basically just stripping away his physical attributes and saying now this is coming to a mental thing. He's not mental. He's not equipped with the faculties in order to lead a team because of his IQ versus Dillon Gabriel's IQ. So that's pretty much what I think about it. That's my opening statement. And so now I want to pass the ball to TA.
So I want to be clear. Is your frustrations that he is not higher on the depth chart than Dillon Gabriel, or do you feel to be higher altogether, like the starter? Because you had mentioned Dillon Gabriel, so I didn't know where your frustration.
Right. So without me taking it too far, I definitely think he should be above Dillon Gabriel. If it was my team, of course, he would be playing. He would be starting. But I realize that I am an extremist. Okay, so I'll understand that. Okay, I might be an extremist, but I'm letting Shedeur play. He's the biggest star. I'm letting him go out there and play because we gonna ball out like that. But they're still thinking this. The Browns are a losing organization, by the way. Like this, it's not like this is somebody that got their shit in order. Like you've been losing forever. You continue to lose. You've made plenty of quarterback blunders and not letting him play and doing this, that, and the third a bunch. So it's not like we talking about Bill Belichick or we talking about somebody that's just known for winning. We talking about the Browns. You know what I'm saying? So it would be bad for the Browns to actually let their fans decide who plays. They couldn't do no worse.
Well, what I'll respond to in 2 parts. First, I'll start with the racial component. I don't believe there's a racial component with the Shedeur Sanders situation currently, and part of it is the very thing that you were just mentioning. He plays for the Cleveland Browns, who just a few years ago they broke the bank paying Deshaun Watson a fully guaranteed contract, the first of its kind in NFL history. So you can't necessarily have that it's a racial issue. You're talking about the Cleveland Browns in the quarterback position, because not only did they break the bank to pay someone, they made a black quarterback the first person ever to get a fully guaranteed contract in NFL history. And he got paid more than anybody at the time. So I don't believe that can be a justifiable argument. And then when you add that to the fact that he was a black quarterback for the Browns, I think that the organization, it's a dysfunctional organization over the years. History has proven that. But they are, I believe, the teams are trying to win. Although, albeit they're dysfunctional, they want to put the best player out there. And the fact that they grabbed SHEDUER, even when we had the conversation after that preseason game and y'all were going, oh, he bailed out of control, I calmly told y'all to temper y'all expectations, because one, it was a preseason game, and two, there wasn't anybody that was going to be playing on Sundays when the regular season starts, which is when it really counts. They weren't on the field with him, and that matters. That matters a ton. And I also said what was going to happen.
This is one thing that I wanted to just counter with.
His performance in practice is going to dictate whether or not he was going to start. And clearly, the reports have he's played well, but he's not outplayed Joe Flacco. And the thing that I've been saying all along, Joe Flacco has certain attributes that SHEDUER just doesn't have. He has a stronger arm than him. He's seen more NFL defenses than SHEDUER has. It's not to say that SHEDUER isn't going to be good, but SHEDUER, it is highly unlikely that he's going to step into an NFL training camp and outperform a 10-plus year veteran. Not because he's not better than him, but Joe Flacco does have some attributes in terms, just like his arms and his ability to process and see stuff because he's seen it before. SHEDUER has some learning to do. And that's evident by his play. It's not to say he's not going to ultimately be good, but right now he's not there. It's
evident by whose play? By SHEDUER's play? So SHEDUER didn't play well? He played in one preseason game. He didn't play well? What was seen by his play?
No. When I say
Gabriel, we watched him. You saying that the preseason don't matter because you playing against the 9. So get Dylan Gabriel through an interception and then just completely quit on the play and stop playing. So that doesn't matter?
Not really, because what they're basing that on, of course it matters to a degree, but what really is matters, and I said that before he even played, I said what he does in practice and when they have inter squad scrimmages and when there's real live reps, that's going to matter. It's going to matter a lot more than what you see on those in a preseason game, because pretty much everything is scripted. But I mean, just here being around people that play and then just seeing it, just watching a lot of football over the years, that those preseason games aren't going to dictate where he falls on the depth chart. They want to see that he can play for sure, but the real evidence of how well he is playing, I would argue, is happening in practice. It's going to go on in practice, and those are the reps that are going to count the most. And sure enough, after he played as well as y'all say he played, and Dylan Gabriel played as bad as y'all say he played, there was no shakeup in where they fell in the depth chart. And part of that can be their play, but part of it is also where they got drafted at. If say for instance, if it was a 3rd round draft pick or Kenny Pickett, he's not going to jump them just off of a performance that he had in the preseason. They don't believe in him that much because they drafted him in the 5th round. They have
So,
way more invested in those other players who they drafted higher or they project to play more. It's just a
so,
fact.
so you're basically saying that it don't matter that, and it kind of goes to what Cuz is saying. A racial component then comes into play because now you're not giving a black quarterback a chance, regardless of if he's outperforming these guys or not, because it doesn't matter. It don't matter what they do in the preseason. You could throw a pick, stop on the play, let the dude get a touchdown, don't even compete in the play, and then have the audacity to get in an interview and say, oh, it's some people competing and some people out here for what, a popularity contest or whatever the comment that he made that counted down those lines. What are we saying here? It does have a racial component to it. It definitely does. Everything in America is going to have a racial component to it.
No,
in some form or fashion.
I believe that to be true. That is true, 100%. But with that, I think it's hard to have the argument with SHEDUER because for every person that says he is hindered because he's a black quarterback, which is true, you're going to have that. But you also are going to have people that say he is there because his last name is Sanders. And you have to acknowledge he benefits from having that name. He benefits from being Deion Sanders' son. A lot of people say he may not have ever had to work to be a starter because his dad was the head coach and he's coached him from the time he started in Pop Warner football. So it's a double-edged sword, and I can see by the smile from my bro, he know I'm telling the truth.
I disagree. I disagree with that.
You don't believe that to be true?
I'm sitting here thinking, so we can also show that all these white quarterbacks.
You don't believe that he's benefited from playing football for his father. You don't believe that. You're saying that's not true.
Benefited by the fact that his father may help him. His father got him better because if his father saw from the time he was at Pop Warner and he saw ill-equipped people coaching his son, yeah, he benefited because his father knows how to get him better and he coached him to get him better.
That's not what I said though, Raymond.
So,
I know you said that he benefit from playing for his father. Yes, because his father is an ex-NFL player that knows how to get him ready to prepare him to be the best that he could be. So, yes, he benefited from playing for his father because his father knows what he's doing.
But
not because he's just Deion Sanders.
And what I don't want to paint this as that SHEDUER does not have the talent to be in the NFL, regardless of who his father is. So, like,
he does that. Clearly, he has the talent to be there.
Sanders was not his father. SHEDUER Sanders, I'm just talking about just as a human being and as an athlete and a player that I've watched. He still is good enough to go and play in the NFL if Deion Sanders wasn't his dad. So I think that it is a bit thrown off.
If Deion Sanders was not his father, he got drafted in the 5th round. Nobody would be talking about him getting drafted in the 5th round.
Get back to that point. I wanted to get back to that point because you did make an excellent point where you said the Cleveland Browns paid Deshaun Watson, who is black, the most money of all time. Check. That's true. But I think that SHEDUER is on another level of like decision making because the Cleveland Browns, they drafted Deion Sanders like in the 5th round, but we all know that SHEDUER Sanders. We all know that SHEDUER Sanders should have been drafted way before the 5th round. So I'm talking about an NFL. I'm talking about an NFL of racism, not from the Cleveland Browns organization.
I just want to hear what you said correctly. Did you say that I want to make sure I heard you right. You said SHEDUER Sanders is better as far as decision making than Deshaun Watson?
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that SHEDUER Sanders the decision to draft him, right? The Deion Sanders, SHEDUER Sanders is more of an NFL organizational like problem with the racism, not Cleveland Browns. I'm not saying like the Cleveland Browns organization is racist all the way. I mean, they love to play. I mean, they'll get down. They'll get down to if they got to, but they're not just all
So
like
you're saying SHEDUER triggers people. He triggers people.
No, I'm saying the NFL put the call in to play this kid in a negative way. Like, don't play this kid. Don't draft this kid. Don't do none of that. That all the NFL owners probably colluded. They wanted to embarrass this kid. They want a big mouth to be quiet, bro. And no matter what, if a black man speaks up for himself, believes in himself, confidence of himself, and has any bit of braggadociousness about him, it's an irritant to the ears of these executives and the NFL people. They don't want to hear it. Gronk and all of them other, like if a black man did the stuff that the Kelsey brothers did, or if the shit that Gronk do, man, let Myles Garrett go up there and guzzle a beer down, gonking, bruh. All I'm saying is the light that he would be painted in would be completely different, bro. So
I agree to an extent. I agree to an extent, but you can't say that. Just say quarterbacks, because that's what you're talking about. Now, name any top quarterbacks
that do that. A quarter,
right? No. You haven't named one. You haven't named one quarterback that you claim has the same type of talent as SHEDUER that is white, that acts in the way that you're saying that's braggadocious and do all this that SHEDUER does.
Colt McCoy, Johnny Manziel,
out the league.
Colt
McCoy is trash.
Got a shot and an opportunity. They wasn't getting played like this.
But neither one of them have swag or braggadocious like SHEDUER Sanders. Name one.
How is SHEDUER braggadocious? Please tell me that. What makes him braggadocious?
I don't necessarily know. That's the word that bro used. I'm just trying
because he wears necklaces, because he raps, because he got a Rolls Royce, because he's got fanfare, because he's a superstar. That's why.
Okay.
He don't do nothing. He's himself.
Exactly.
But him rapping, him doing any of the things that's culturally black is too much.
Wait a minute.
It's too strong.
Wait a minute. Now, be fair to the argument. Name the white quarterback that does all of those things and he gets treated in a negative way, or he gets pumped up and they disregard it. Because that's the argument you're making.
Joe Burrow.
Yep. I would agree.
Baker Mayfield,
Johnny Manziel, Colt McCoy, like all of these quarterbacks had the it factor. Like they was like dogs out there. The problem with them is like they got an opportunity to play, didn't pan out, and then got booted. SHEDUER, he won't even get the opportunity because that's the difference.
I think the difference too, though, and I'm just being honest, because I think, truth be told, I think there's a double standard with quarterbacks like Joe Burrow. But I do believe Joe Burrow, you have to go back to when they were in school. Joe Burrow, he was doing not even a little bit, he was doing a lot more than what SHEDUER was doing in college.
Exactly.
He was a huge prospect. And if you remember what I said from the beginning, if SHEDUER Sanders had the talent that his dad had, they wouldn't worry about him being.
Why do you keep saying the talent that his dad has, and they play
because
different positions?
Because Joe Burrow, if we're going to say, I don't want to say if he had the talent of Joe Burrow. I'm saying if he was in question number one, if he was that dude coming out that year, they would overlook that. His talent was not that. No, he was not. No, he was not.
They had SHEDUER going in the first round, bro. A lot of people thought that SHEDUER would go after Cam Ward. It's not like boom. Listen, bro. It was a whole media circus about SHEDUER going in the 5th round.
Do you realize
why was that? Why was that? Because he was expected to go much earlier, right?
There was a possibility that he could have gone a lot earlier.
But come on, Bob.
But
he
this no. This is all I'm saying though. When it comes to the draft, like he was supposed to go earlier. That's a fact. He was supposed to go earlier than the 5th round. Okay. That is true. But his draft grade, like if he would have came out in the draft with Joe Burrow, his draft grade, he would not have touched the 1st round. He was not on that same level. So that's the only point. He was not the prospect that a Joe Burrow was. So you can't make that argument. That's all I'm saying.
Joe Burrow has not lived up to be that type of quarterback anyway.
Joe Burrow has gone to a Super Bowl ring. He's gone to a Super Bowl.
Joe Burrow has
gone to a Super Bowl.
A good quarterback. He done beat Pat Mahomes a couple of times. Joe Burrow.
Y'all say that he didn't beat Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes play offense just like he do. They don't even play against each other. It's playing against the defense. It's not that gets ridiculous here. They not playing directly against each other or competing against each other. You playing against the defense. And Joe Burrow has looked very suspect in a lot of games for the Bengals. Going to the Super Bowl, they probably should have been in the Super Bowl and won a Super Bowl by now. They've had the talent to do it. He's had the talent with the receivers to do a whole lot. He has 2 of the most talented receivers in the league.
He does.
And what has he done?
I'm not advocating for Joe Burrow. I'm just saying stay consistent. Because in the college game just a few weeks ago, 2 people were saying you can't talk about the quarterback having this great offensive talent on the end, the wide receiver position, because his line sucked. And they said this quarterback is still great. He just didn't have a great line. I don't know who this quarterback is. I think he played in Boulder, Colorado. The same can go for Joe Burrow. The same can go for Joe Burrow. You have to be consistent. That's all I'm saying.
The Bengals line ain't sucked. It ain't been the Bengals line. They ain't been terrible.
The Bengals line has not been great, and their defense sucked. But I don't care. I don't like the Bengals.
Their line has not been what Colorado's line was at all. But
you're absolutely right. The Bengals line was an NFL line. The Bengals line was an NFL line.
And Colorado's line was terrible. Terrible. And this boy still played good with this line being like that. But what we're talking about here is talking about with the black and white issue of how the difference and stuff go. Okay, and because talking about with D.E.I, how it being and bringing that as using a point of it. And y'all brought up Deshaun Watson. First of all, I don't think Deshaun Watson will ever get paid all the money that was put into that contract. The Browns will somehow get out of trying to pay him all that money. But secondly, look how when he got hurt, how they went about trying to go ahead and tear him down with this stuff of he's doing this stuff to massage therapists, and he touched the massage therapist. Now he got this lawsuit, that lawsuit, because now somebody else trying to take his money. But yet your quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Big Ben, was running around putting his elbow in back, taking stuff, and he never was broken down the way that they've done Deshaun Watson. He was still he was still this great quarterback. They just talked all around it and let it go.
Point Remy is making. I mean, that is point.
I've never argued whether or not there is a double standard when it comes to black quarterbacks versus white quarterbacks. That's 100% true. I'm just saying you can't make it for SHEDUER Sanders. You can't make it for SHEDUER Sanders.
That's the statement that Cuz started off with talking about winning, but you're saying it doesn't apply to SHEDUER. So it applies to every other black quarterback except SHEDUER Sanders.
Man, bro,
What are y'all
they wanna
saying he's
dim his
being
light.
in? What do y'all think he's being unfairly? What is
I don't think
happening
he's-
unfairly for SHEDUER? That's what
he's
I'm
not being
unclear.
given a fair opportunity, and I don't think it was ever intention to give him a fair opportunity.
How do you not know that? How do you know that he's not being given a fair opportunity? Because he's not starting. Because he wasn't named the starter.
We watched him perform well and play well. Then we watched the white quarterback turn around and play bad, and they still got this quarterback above him on the depth chart.
Exactly.
That's happening.
We
watched this white quarterback
I believe more
and
goes
quit
into
on the
it
play.
than that.
Listen, bro. And
this
is something else that I want to say. In America, okay, I know black people do play the race card. All right. And that's what they would say me and Remy are doing right now. But let me give you guys a little bit of insight into the mindset of black people in America. Once you've been dogged for a period of time and things have been historically one way for so long that when anything happens, like Deshaun Watson, like SHEDUER Sanders, like we already looked at all the black celebrities before. I think we did that on the show where I did a list of everybody that's been arrested, embarrassed, humiliated, that's been black, and it's been all our top stars. So it's easy for us to think, oh man, they messing with SHEDUER Sanders because it's a racist thing. It's racism again. It's racism. It seems like it. It seems like nobody, it seems like all of the media, some of these Cleveland sports shows, because I've been tapped in with like Cleveland's YouTube page and all of their people that's really in the trenches that's been there for a while. It's a clear racial divide over whether SHEDUER should be playing or not. All the black people say yes, and a lot, I'm not saying all of the white people, but a lot of the white people that I've seen have all said no.
When you say that, are you saying playing like getting on the field, or are you saying he should be the starter? Because I received that
getting reps and certainly above Dylan Gabriel.
Didn't he get hurt?
So
before that, he wasn't getting no reps before that. He wasn't getting no reps before that. Now, this last week where he got hurt, okay, he got hurt. So he couldn't get no reps. He couldn't get no reps. But Joe Flacco been getting all the reps from what I heard anyway, because he's gonna be QB1. So
exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand
throwing the ball into trash cans.
How is he being unfairly treated? Most NFL rosters, they don't carry 5 quarterbacks, and you don't get no reps. If you talk to any, that's why I'm saying when you say this is racially charged, 5th round quarterbacks don't get reps ever.
But he's not no 5th round quarterback. He was colluded against and made into a 5th round quarterback. He's masqueraded as a 5th round quarterback. He's not a 5th round quarterback. He's a number 1 draft pick in the whole draft. He's the best quarterback in the draft. He's the biggest star in the draft. They should have been letting him play. He goes out on the field and he shows you what he can do.
That's not true, bro.
So since we talking about black,
like that meant nothing.
That's not true. That's not true.
We talking about black and white quarterbacks. So I want to read out some stats of 2 quarterbacks, and let's see who if y'all can figure out who they were at this time and see how things played out. One is a black quarterback, one is a white. At age 25, these 2 quarterbacks, 26 touchdowns. One threw for 4,115 yards, one threw for 4,131 yards. Both threw for 23 interceptions in the season. One threw for 5 pick sixes, one threw for 6 pick sixes. Both had 6 wins. One's rating was 84.9, one's rating for 84.1, one was 61.3 completion percentage, the other was 62.7% completion percentage. And this is what these 2 quarterbacks were at the same age. But now let's talk about it when I name their names and see how differently the careers went and wonder why. And if that's not racially motivated on how the opportunity is given and how things are done. One is Jameis Winston and the other is Peyton Manning. And Peyton Manning is the one who had the more pick sixes in the season, all that time. But he was allowed to play through this stuff and become now where everybody, Peyton Manning's one of the best.
Still in the league.
But he don't get to play. Backing up all type of garbage. He was in Cleveland and they didn't use him in Cleveland. And he played well while he was in Cleveland. And they went to go get Flacco.
But Jameis has been a starting quarterback up until the last couple years. The reason why he's a backup now is because he still throws a ton of interceptions.
And Peyton did too. And Peyton did too.
I'm saying beyond 25. Beyond 25.
Before 25 and beyond 25, Peyton still threw interception.
Not at the rate of Jameis Winston, Rain. Come on, man. I know you're not about to go that route.
Man, Jameis Winston does turn the ball over, but he has not been given the same opportunity. White quarterbacks get an opportunity to play through stuff that black quarterbacks do not.
Right. So your argument is that
it's racially motivated.
Okay.
I mean,
I think there's clearly some cases of that, but to use Peyton Manning and Jameis Winston, I think that is that's a rough one to fall on because Jameis Winston has been a starter for majority of his career, and he has thrown. The reason that Tom Brady went down to Tampa Bay is because Jameis Winston threw so many interceptions with a squad. And they were like, all you need is a quarterback. And insert Tom Brady. Tampa Bay wins the Super Bowl. He threw so many interceptions. He threw interceptions and that's essentially what put him on the bench.
Is that the same for Teddy Bridgewater?
Teddy Bridgewater has been a starter damn near his whole career.
Teddy Bridgewater wasn't even in the league last year. He was coaching high school football.
Huh?
Jameis Winston was Teddy Bridgewater was coaching high school football last year.
Yeah, but I'm saying Teddy Bridgewater has had a long career in the league, and he's been a starter. Teddy Bridgewater has had he's had a nice career.
Exactly, but my point is Teddy Bridgewater wasn't even in the league last year. Why? They said he wasn't good enough to be in the league last year. He went and coached high school football. Now he's back in the league. But yet we'll watch a quarterback like Fitzgerald.
That's the same to say 20
years. They play for 20 years and suck for 20 years. And they try to tell you that they're good quarterbacks. That's not racially motivated.
Has been a starter. See this comment? No fifth-round quarterback has been a starter in the last 30 years.
Except for Tom Brady. Tom Brady has. Stop it. Stop it.
Not his rookie year. Not his rookie year. Not his rookie year.
SHEDUER is not going to be a starter neither his rookie year.
That's what the comment said. There's been no rookie. There's been no fifth-round starter in 30 years. That's saying so. There's
been a sixth-round starter in 30 years. Tom Brady did it. He was a starter
as a rookie.
He came in and started
as a rookie.
I believe it was his rookie year when he didn't start the first game of the season, but I think it was his rookie year when Drew Brees or Drew Bledsoe got hurt. He came in and played. It may not have been his rookie year, but I believe it was.
Winston threw 30 picks in 5 years. 30 picks in 5 years. I don't know if that's I guess that's a lot.
You like guess it's a lot.
The season. 6 picks in a season. 6
we
times
just
5.
talked about. It said Tom that Peyton Manning was
now compare that. Now compare that. If there's any stretch of Peyton Manning's career where he threw 30 picks in 5 NFL seasons, how many?
To me, 6 picks doesn't sound It depends on how much he's throwing the ball too. Like if you gunslinging and you throwing the ball out there a whole lot, then yeah, you know, you might throw some interceptions in there. Six per season. I mean, it sounds average. Maybe it probably might be maybe 1 or 2 picks above average, but it ain't that bad to me. I don't know. 6 picks.
That's why you want Shedeur to start.
Man, Shedeur is being destroyed by the stupid Cleveland Browns, man. What a bum organization, by the way, man.
That's the thing that I don't understand. How can the Browns be destroying him? And they drafted him. No other team drafted him.
Man, what we call that is like they're basically shelving Shedeur. They're shelving Shedeur Sanders, bro. Shelving Shedeur Sanders. Okay, that's what's happening here.
What? But I'm saying though,
let me get this mic.
Shouldn't they have
Shedeur Sanders? Shedeur Sanders is being made an example out of for young players. This has been done to Ja Morant. This is being done to Shedeur Sanders. And it's going to be done to the next young superstar. That light is bright.
So Ja Morant,
no matter what, they want to make an example out of any young black male that's himself.
Ja
If he
Morant's
wants to dance to the beat of his own drum, then it's a no. It's a no. Like you literally cannot be yourself for real. And I don't know, man. You know, I just look at how they do our brothers and sisters, man. Tiger Woods, the greatest, most big time superstar ever, man. And then for some reason, I mean, it's like, oh, he cheated on his wife. Let's just destroy this man. When they know every last one of them that's writing the stories have done the same thing or worse. And yeah, Shedeur Sanders.
Your problem with Tiger is not necessarily it's more so around how the media covers his indiscretions or whatever is going on in his life. That's what your issue is.
So look at this comment right here. Look at this. Ja Morant sabotaged his own self. Okay.
Hold on. Let me before we say something, before we get off this quarterback topic. Okay. I just looked up something. So, yeah, we'll talk about Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston done played 10 seasons. He has 111 interceptions. That's how many a season? That's what 11.
He played what? How many
seasons? He's played 10 seasons, and he got 111 interceptions. That's about 11 interceptions a year. Peyton Manning has 251 interceptions, played 18 seasons. That's 13.9 interceptions a season. So people want to jump in and say stuff and then act like, oh, well, no, Jameis Winston, this, that. The math don't lie. Peyton Manning threw more interceptions than Jameis Winston.
Per season, on average. On average.
You are absolutely right. And Peyton Manning was a starter all of those seasons, every year. He has been on the bench.
Doesn't matter. You still was
a starter since he's been in the league.
No. His last couple years, he has been a backup. You just said he was backing up over in Cleveland.
Right.
Before that, he was a backup. So that means when he's a starter, he's throwing more interceptions per year. Hot damn it. Do the math.
I did do the math.
He wasn't a starter every year, He's not a starter every year.
How do you keep changing the goalposts on stuff? Now it's because he was a starter. It isn't. If you in the game and you throwing interceptions, that's what matters. You were playing. So while they were playing,
when Jameis isn't a starter, he's not playing.
It don't matter if you did start or not. Whenever you were in the game, Peyton Manning averaged 14 interceptions a season.
Ring. Hold up, Tom. I think you're missing something. When Jameis Winston, just because he had a year in the NFL, he was not a starting quarterback. He's not on the field. He's not getting a chance to throw the ball. So what you need to look at is how many years he was a quarterback and look at how many interceptions he had, divide that out and see how many interceptions he's throwing per year. Peyton Manning was a starter every year. He's on the
He
field.
still threw 14 interceptions. Y'all just so the point of the matter is,
You
if
said how many he
if
threw
he
per
throwing
year.
14, why was he still a starter?
Because
Jameis
he was
got
winning
benched.
Super Bowl.
Well,
Jameis got
listen,
benched.
Jerry,
So why does he remain to be a
now,
starter?
just a couple of minutes ago, when I said 6 interceptions per season sounded reasonable, big bruh, you said that was a lot. Now, come to find out, this man is throwing 13 interceptions per season.
And he's a Hall of
According to
Famer.
your standards, that's double what's a lot. So Peyton Manning is some bullshit, according to you. My man. I mean, come on, bro.
He is on a team that is going to the playoffs. He's won 2 Super Bowls.
And he's a liability because he's throwing 14 interceptions a
He's
season.
won 2 Super. I'll rest my case. Yeah.
Well, bro, I don't
you guys
think
are
we're
saying,
trying to say Peyton
you guys
Manning.
are saying,
Hold on. Let me say this. We're not saying Peyton Manning is some bullshit, but what we're saying is Jameis Winston is sweet too. And just because he throws interceptions doesn't mean he should be ostracized like he's a dumb N-word, right? That ain't smart enough to play.
He hasn't
football.
been. He hasn't been.
The point.
Hold on. The game is about what you produce. If Jameis Winston was out there throwing those interceptions and his team is winning, like Peyton Manning's teams were winning, yes, you're going to get some excuses. You're going to get some leeway with some interceptions. This game is hold up. Are y'all trying to really have this conversation about Peyton Manning?
Yes,
Winston?
I am because you made the comment and we pull up the stats and we see the interception. So it goes to the point of what I was talking about, the opportunity that is given. Jameis Winston throws some interception, he get thrown to the bench. Peyton Manning throwing interceptions, you talking about long as the team is winning. So the defense could have scored 3 touchdowns in the game and they win. He threw 3 interceptions, but he don't go to the bench.
Quarterback. That's another thing. Peyton Manning was not the quarterback he was when he actually won the Super Bowls.
No, in Denver he wasn't. In Indianapolis he was.
Peyton Manning he actually never won, just like Jameis Winston never won until late in his career.
Bro, wait a minute. He wasn't the quarterback that he was in Denver when he won. He was that quarterback in Indianapolis when he won the Super Bowl.
My point is, when Jameis throws interceptions, Jameis was benched. And everybody trying to sit here and say, like, okay, well, yeah, this is why. Jameis got benched, so Jameis wasn't a starter. Well, Peyton was throwing all these interceptions and he was never benched. Okay. He should have been benched based on the standards. This is what we're talking about. You got the black quarterbacks that if they go out there, they throw a couple picks, they go onto the bench. Peyton Manning can throw a whole slew of interceptions, and you tell me as long as they win, it don't matter. Well, there's a whole lot of other things that go in with 33 people being on the field. Because you got 11 for offense, 11 for defense, 11 for special team that could determine if it's a win or loss. But this guy is still throwing an interception, and he's allowed to keep playing.
Hey, let's ask this though: who was better in college? Who was better in college, Jameis Winston or Peyton Manning?
I'm not going to even entertain this. That is not. Jameis Winston won the national championship as a freshman at Florida State. He balled out of control. Peyton Manning stayed for 3 years, I believe it was. They were always in the top 10. He was in the finalists for the Heisman. I believe Jameis may have won the Heisman. I don't know if he did or.
And Peyton lost to Florida every year and hurt everybody's heart in Tennessee.
So who was better? So
see it all the time.
Do you think that Jameis Winston coming out of college deserved the same amount of leash and rope that Peyton Manning got? Just from their college careers and what they was projected to possibly be. So I can see SHEDUER. You saying SHEDUER doesn't get the chance because he wasn't on that level. Does Jameis Winston reach the criteria to be able to get a long leash and not get thrown to the bench?
Does Jameis Winston have the lead not to get thrown to the bench?
Yeah, Peyton Manning got the same type of.
He didn't get thrown to the bench. Career. He didn't get thrown to the bench. He had an opportunity to throw picks, then they put him to the bench. The difference is when you're making comments about these picks that Peyton was throwing, they were going to the playoffs. They were losing to New England in the championship round. You tell me, which one would you want to keep?
Will B.
I don't want nobody turning the ball over.
I like this comment from Will
I don't
B.
want nobody out here turning the ball over.
You see that? Winston never had a Hall of Fame receiver like Manning did with Marvin Harrison, and Manning still couldn't win.
That is true.
What help has Winston had around him? Because
wait a minute,
y'all do be pulling out that team
win.
card when I try to talk about individual players. So
Manning,
how much of Manning team and coach?
Hold up, Manning did win. He did win. That Hall of Fame wide receiver, they won. They with him.
In what year? In what year did Peyton Manning win his first Super Bowl? Because that
I don't know.
That will give us.
I don't know. He won with Marvin Harrison
Can you see what year Manning won his first Super Bowl?
So let's move the goalposts like Bone keep doing. How many times they win? They got one championship. You said multiples matter.
He got two. He won 2 Super Bowls. What are we talking about?
One in Denver. One was in Denver. We talking about with Marvin Harrison.
But it was Peyton. We're not talking about Peyton Manning. We only talking about Peyton Manning while he was in Indy. Okay.
That's what the comment was just talking about. And you said that they did win.
I said he did win. They won in Indianapolis.
Okay. But they did more losing than winning, though, right?
No, they did not. They were
only
a perennial
won one
powerhouse.
Right? How many championships they win?
One.
Exactly. How many seasons did they play together?
Probably 10 or so.
So then they did more losing than winning.
Peyton Manning won. Hold on, here it is. I got the info for you. Peyton Manning won his first Super Bowl in his 9th season. So
not only that.
Why is this important?
Now see how many times did his season end in the AFC Championship game against the eventual NFL champs?
There you go. Now that's okay. That gives him an extension on the leash by being able to make it there. And I agree. That is true. He played well enough to let them.
No, he didn't play well enough. He played significantly better than the player that y'all talking about. How many Pro Bowls because we're about individuals. How many Pro Bowls did Jameis Winston make?
His team, we need to see Jameis Winston's team.
How many Pro Bowls did Jameis? People on terrible teams make the Pro Bowl. How many did Jameis Winston make?
I don't know, but how many did Peyton Manning make?
Look that up, bro.
How many did Peyton Manning make?
Huh?
How many did Peyton Manning make?
Let's look that up. And then
he made all these Pro Bowls.
How many
all these
MVPs?
interceptions? And he won those throwing 14 interceptions a season.
How many Pro Bowls and how many MVPs did
so
he
throw 14 interceptions as a quarterback a season, and you win? It's how many games in the season? It just went to what, 16?
I can't believe that we're having this about Jameis Winston and Peyton.
Hold on, Bone. Listen to this. Jameis Winston actually went to the Pro Bowl his rookie season.
Look at that.
So that now we
starting out the gate. You said much, and remember what you said.
His rookie season, yet he's getting. They didn't.
No. How many times and how many after that did he make it? How many times has he made it?
None.
How many times has Peyton Manning made the Pro Bowl?
Thousands. I mean, he can make it every year. He can make it every year. But I think what me and Remy are saying, bro, is that the black quarterbacks do not get. Do you disagree with that? I don't even think you disagree with that, though, right?
You don't disagree with the black quarterbacks that y'all are shorter.
They get a shorter leash. They get a shorter leash, right?
Is Patrick Mahomes a black quarterback?
I say that he's both. He's both.
He's half and half.
racists can basically have pride in Pat Mahomes without being wrong, and that's cool. I consider Pat Mahomes a black quarterback. Yeah, when he wins, I'll chalk it up for black quarterback winning. Yes, yes, he is to me.
But my point is that Peyton Manning threw a whole lot of interceptions.
Chad said no.
No, he's not a black quarterback. No.
Eighth season for Lamar Jackson. Put this on. Put this up there. 8th season for Lamar, and he hasn't won. Does he suck? That's the argument you're making about Peyton. Nice.
Who's making that argument about Peyton?
I mean, basically, we trying to say if you don't win until your 10th year, then they should keep letting you try, is what me and Reem is saying. But I think that we saying, like, quit saying Peyton Manning is so good. Jameis Winston played the same amount of seasons and hadn't won a Super Bowl, just like
no,
Peyton
I'm
Manning.
saying
They put him on the bench. But
when you make the comparison between Jameis and Peyton, there's no comparison. Peyton was a better quarterback than Jameis Winston. No matter how you're trying to say this,
he just threw a lot of interceptions, though, as a great quarterback. That's what you're saying.
No matter how you slice it, Reem, they keep score. And if he's playing well, if he's playing bad, huh? If you are playing well, you're going to get more leeway if you're playing well. Jameis Winston was not playing well. That's why he got benched.
So you can play well and throw a lot of interceptions, but can play well?
I don't believe when you say that Peyton Manning throws a lot of interceptions.
I just told you how many he threw. He threw 251 for his career. That's 14 a season.
Right. That's 14 a season. But without looking at it, I can't see if he has like some down years where he threw a ton of interceptions. But when he was in Indy, he wasn't throwing a lot of interceptions every year. I don't know that without seeing it, but he wasn't throwing a lot of interceptions every year. That just wasn't the case. He was highly efficient.
They said Jameis threw 30 picks in 5 years. Hold on, and then they said 1 year. Man, how can this be true? Winston's interception rate inflates because he threw 30 picks in one season and hasn't started since. So,
well, based off of
hold on.
Winston throws a ton of picks, man. It's a known thing. He throws a lot of and I mean, to have
so what would you say about Brett Favre then?
We know he
a lot of interceptions. They call him a gunslinger. And that's making my point. They won.
Right, they called him a gunslinger where he threw 300 and some interceptions for his career.
Right, but they won, Reem. They always won. He won a Super Bowl. He damn near won a Super Bowl with Minnesota if he was hurt against New Orleans. That's what I'm saying.
But we have to examine Jameis Winston's team too, though, bro, before we just say that. You see what I'm saying? Like, if we don't just say,
bro, that's why I said
that he didn't win.
That's why I made the comment about him, all of them interceptions, which got him shipped out of Tampa Bay, and they brought in Tom Brady. The next year, they won a Super Bowl. The very next year. Those same offensive weapons. He was so bad throwing interceptions, they just brought in a dang near 40-year-old quarterback, and he won the Super Bowl with him.
So that is true. When he threw 30 interceptions,
that's why I can't believe y'all brought up Jameis Winston.
We can't call him a gunslinger then when he throw interceptions and let him keep playing the way Brett Favre did. Because Brett Favre averaged 17. He averaged 17 interceptions a season. So how do you win? So is it on you for winning when you average 17 interceptions in the season?
But what about Cam Newton? He's another bro that was, I mean, he like Jameis Winston. It was Cam Newton that won the national championship, then Jameis Winston.
Cam Newton ball.
Cam Newton went to a Super Bowl. Huh?
He balled.
He went to
And they-
balling.
and-
He was an MVP.
And they cut his
Why is
career
he out
short
the
too.
league? Why
Huh?
is he out the league?
They
Why
cut
is
his
he
career
out
short
the
too.
league? Cam Newton.
Cam, I don't know all the particulars, but Cam has said that he still could be. He has said he could still be playing, but he wasn't interested in being a backup. He wasn't even.
Why
interested
should he have
in,
to be a backup? Why should Cam Newton have to be a
because it's
backup?
an
When we watch
organization that
Brett Favre throw interception after interception in his later stages of his career, and he got 336 of them. But you telling me now that Cam was supposed to be a backup though for somebody? He was supposed to back up what? Who was the cat that was that ain't played worth nothing in New England
Carolina?
now?
New
No,
England.
who they brought trying to have him back up?
Something.
Yeah, that for real. Cam was supposed to back him up. Really?
Cam was supposed
So-
to back who up?
Whoever
In New
in New England, who was the quarterback in New England that came from Alabama? I think it was.
I know who you talking about, bro.
Right. So then if that's the case, then Brady should have backed up Jameis Winston. Come on now, don't play that. That's how ridiculous it sounds. Cam backing him up sounds as ridiculous as Jameis backing.
I can't
as
believe the
Tom
comparison.
Brady backing up Jameis.
Look at Chad. Look at Chad. Look at Chad. Look at Chad. Look at Chad go. Look at Chad go. Look. If Flacco is a starter, then Cam damn sure is a starter.
And I would say to that, that's what we believe. That's what we believe. But in NFL circles, they say Cam got into a Super Bowl and wouldn't jump on the ball when he fumbled it his damn self. Flacco won the damn game. No, he's
Flacco
not.
ain't win nothing. Oh, he handed the ball off. He did great heading the ball off, and that defense won.
All
Man, get up
I'm
out of here
saying,
with that,
don't
man.
get mad.
Get up out of there with that, man. Don't get up out of there with that one. Flacco didn't do nothing to win that Super Bowl.
Hey, Will, don't
He
do that
managed
to
the
yourself. Don't do that to yourself.
Yeah.
His wide receivers. I'm not even some things you can't justify. He had a wide. Oh my God, his wide receiver is going to the Hall of Fame.
Who's that? Who's going to the Hall of Fame? What wide receiver?
Well, you
Mike
can't say
Evans,
Gronk
Mike
because they wasn't
Williams.
there, but
What's
Mike
his name?
Evans. Mike
Evans. I'm sorry. Mike Evans is a great Hall of Fame wide receiver. I
And
think.
then as Will pointed out what Will said there, who was brought in for Brady when they won the championship. Exactly, that they brought in with him. Go ahead, Gronk, Antonio Brown, Richard Sherman, Leonard Fournette, Julio Jones. They all came in with him, right?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
Julio Jones did not. Julio Jones was not playing with them. No, Julio Jones wasn't playing with them. And whatchamacallit wasn't even playing.
Antonio Brown and Gronk is a big deal, bro. Those are two.
And you still have Mike Evans.
And you still have Mike Evans. I mean, that is a lot more weapons at his disposal. I mean, these are superstars, Hall of Famers. What? Come on.
Leonard Fournette running the ball. That wasn't a big deal.
That's a big deal, but I still say that is a big deal. All of it's a big deal.
And we have some people saying, look it up because Julio was playing.
Brady did not take over the Bay Buccaneers.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this then. Since you had all these weapons, let me ask both of y'all this. Would they win the Super Bowl Winston and not Tom Brady?
Yes. With Mike Evans, with Julio Jones, with Gronk, with and Antonio Brown, yeah, he would have won the Super Bowl. With that defense, Jameis would have won it 1,000,000%. Yes, I think so.
Agreed.
Y'all are high. And I mean, that's what I'm saying. If we're gonna be on here having real conversations.
Agreed.
Look at Chad walking with us. Yes. Hell yeah. Man, Jameis Winston is a primetime performer, bro. His national championship game was crazy. Didn't he come back from like all these points down
No.
in the national championship game to win
No.
it?
No.
Jameis Winston didn't. Hold on, bro.
How you said from all these
it was either
points
Cam
down.
Newton or Jameis Winston. One of them had the most miraculous comeback of all time in the national championship game. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Go look it up. But Jameis Winston,
Cam Newton and them had a drive for a field goal to win the game. They were down and they won. That was it. Y'all crazy.
Jameis Winston, man. I'm gonna pull up these highlights from his national championship game. He was killing.
They were in, I believe they played. Who did they play? Jameis and them played. They scored a touchdown down there on the last play. He threw a jump ball to Ben. I like Florida State. What? I don't even know why you're trying to have this conversation.
That's the thing. Yeah, for sure. I'm just saying, like, all I'm trying to tell you is he's a big time player. He would have got it done. That's all I'm saying. Jameis Winston is a big time player. He's a clutch prime time performer, baby. Like Dickie B, baby. He's a PT.
Y'all are having a conversation about Peyton Manning and Jameis Winston. That is crazy.
No, we brought Cam Newton into it. We just talking about
go. We want to say Cam Newton. Let's
we talking about what happens with black quarterbacks.
Cam Newton is a better argument than Jameis Winston. It is.
I think so because of career statistics and accomplishments and achievements. Okay, so
this accomplishments and achievements, they matter. They matter. They matter, right, bro?
Huh? Achievements,
individual accomplishments, and achievements, they matter. Yes. So why in God's green earth would you ever compare Peyton Manning to Jameis Winston?
Because of their college careers, and we're talking about a college player who threw the same amount of interceptions as Peyton Manning.
Wait a minute, you said college career?
Yeah, we just talking about players coming out of college that had momentum and then had rocky parts of their career, and they get sent to the bench when the other white players like Brett Favre and Peyton Manning, and they can
Brett Favre wasn't even a starter.
And still go to the
Brett Favre was not a starter. Brett Favre didn't even start originally.
Exactly. And he still threw 336 interceptions in his career. So based off of what you used on Jameis Winston, was saying, well, he wasn't a starter for these years, so it was even more interceptions. Brett Favre threw 336 of them, and he wasn't starting all them years. He didn't start all 20 seasons, and he threw that many interceptions. But he was allowed to play through them interceptions in order to become, for us to say, this is who Brett Favre is. That's the whole point of what we're talking about. Black quarterbacks aren't allowed to play through the mistakes to be able to become what we end up saying, oh, he's a Hall of Famer, this and that. They don't get given that opportunity. They get thrown to the bench, even when they're in Cam's situation, when there's no reason for him to be thrown to the bench. But we're going to sit here then and justify, as you saying, well, this dude is winning, even though he's turning the ball over like crazy, throwing interception after interception, but they're winning. Man, that makes no sense. You're winning. You're talking about a team sport, but this particular individual isn't playing well. Slow down, folks. Since I didn't play football, I'll use hoop as an example.
I didn't say they're not playing well. I didn't say they're not playing well. I didn't say they're not playing.
You didn't say who not playing well. You can't be playing well if you throw a bunch of interceptions.
Peyton Manning was. I never said Peyton Manning was playing bad or playing poorly. He played well.
But you throwing 14 interceptions a game.
They were going to the AFC
that's like
Championship.
Me watching saying a point guard is on the court turning the ball over 10 times a game. But man, he balling. But he got 10 turnovers every game.
He was the unquestioned best player for the Indianapolis Colts, damn near for the duration of his career. Now, if you want to say, however those interceptions shake out, that he wasn't playing well, that would be you would be hard pressed to say.
But when James turned it over, you say he don't play well.
Because Peyton Manning threw two two guys, not one, but two guys into the Hall of Fame.
But when
threw
he's
two
turning
guys
the
into the
ball
Hall of
over,
Fame.
he can play well while he's turning the ball over, but Jameis Winston not playing well when he turned the ball over. A turnover is a turnover.
This is what I was saying earlier. In the 2014 BCS National Championship, Jameis Winston, leading the Florida State Seminoles, orchestrated a thrilling 34-31 victory over the Auburn Tigers. He threw for 237 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, including the game-winning 2-yard pass to Kelvin Benjamin with 13 seconds left. Earned him MVP honors, and this win capped off a remarkable freshman season where he also secured the Heisman Trophy, becoming the first redshirt freshman to achieve both feats. So I'm saying that to say this. Jameis Winston, had he had those same weapons Tom Brady had in Tampa Bay, I think that he would have won. I think that he's not no nervous quarterback out there. He probably throwing interceptions because he's trying to pass the ball to inferior receivers and they're not getting open, and he's throwing it to spots that they should be at. We would have to actually go through and look at his interceptions and see whose fault it was. Some of these interceptions could be timing issues. It could be a lot. And if you don't got the talent and the weapons out there, trying to throw balls to people who ain't getting to the spots can be difficult. So we have to see Jameis Winston's team. But here nor there with Jameis Winston, we still got Cam Newton to talk about. We still got Lamar Jackson to talk about, with them trying to change this man into a running back or a receiver. And now he's turning out to be an MVP quarterback. Who would have thought? So SHEDUER Sanders,
but you know, the head coach made the decision with Lamar to say he's going to be our quarterback. They drafted him. That's what I'm saying. You're having an argument saying the NFL is that's the racist component, but it seems like your frustration is with the media and what they say about these people. They want him to be a quarterback. They Lamar Jackson to be a running back. The Ravens drafted him in the first round to be a quarterback. They brought him in to play quarterback. They changed their whole system to accommodate Lamar Jackson. They got rid of their starting quarterback for Lamar Jackson.
And he should have been out the NFL.
The Seattle Seahawks brought in a free agent, Flynn, from the Green Bay Packers, paid him a lot of money and put him on the bench in training camp, and brought in a third-round draft pick, Russell Wilson, and made him the starter. He went and won a Super Bowl. Teams want to win. You have, for everything you say with SHEDUER, there's evidence to show that there's black quarterbacks that have been drafted, and they have sessions, made changes, and brought these people up to elevate them at the quarterback position. So you can't be so quick to say it's just race. Oh, it's just race. Was it not race when it was Russell Wilson? Was it racial with Russell Wilson? Was it racial with Lamar Jackson?
No, it's not always race, but sometimes it is. And then when we point out when it is, it gets said that it's not. But then we say we know sometimes there is. We'll name a time.
I agree with y'all.
Let me tell me a time, because you agree that there is some component happening sometime, somewhere. It's there. So can you name a time?
I think race is always a part of it.
So if it's always a part of it, then how can it not be when we're saying it is right now with Lamar Jackson, with Cam Newton, with Jameis Winston? What part is race in it? Like, so it's not what me and Remy are saying, but what part does it actually play?
I think that the media is always going to cover black quarterbacks, specifically black quarterbacks, different than their counterparts. They're going to always assign the things. A lot of times it's going to be attributed to them. Even if they're not athletic, they're going to talk about how athletically gifted they are. They're never going to give them credit for being the smartest guy on the field or being able to process information. And they're going to have buzzwords that they're going to use for black quarterbacks that they would never use white quarterbacks. But I think in a lot of front offices, they are trying to either win or make money, and they don't necessarily. It's not as big of a deal. It's always something that they consider, but they're trying to win games. And if you haven't looked around, majority of quarterbacks now damn near are black. You got Jalen Hurts, you got Lamar Jackson, you have Russell Wilson, you have Cam Ward that just came out, you got CJ Stroud. If you look around and see all the black quarterbacks, damn near half of the league is black quarterbacks.
Well, maybe it should
That is
be
just
all.
a fact. So when you say leeway, it's not a leeway thing, because there was a time when you weren't getting a shot to play that position. Not only you're getting a shot, they're actually making them the MVP. Lamar Jackson.
Did you just say that there are over half of the quarterbacks, or about half, or half of the quarterbacks in the NFL are black?
I think it's a significant. I would say,
is there a significant?
40%.
Not even half, but a significant amount. And that's the point. They can't stomach to take any more. They can't stomach another SHEDUER. They can't. Enough is enough. You already got a significant amount in there. It would be it would be like if a bunch of M&Ms just took over the rap game. Like Marshall Mathers, Eminem, like a bunch of white kids just all start rapping, and every song now is a white boy. And we like, man, come on now. No more. No more white rappers. That's how they feel about having black quarterbacks come in and take their most coveted position. And with SHEDUER, like, you better act like Russell Wilson if you want this job. You study Russell Wilson real good. That's what they want. They don't want no must be the money. They don't want that. And so what they're doing is they're making SHEDUER an example, because if a kid does come through and act like SHEDUER, now his agent is going to be that gatekeeper of culture and say, don't hate. You got to learn how to act. You see, learn how to act. That's saying don't be yourself. And him being himself ain't even being nothing wrong, but he just being himself. But I don't like it. I don't know. Go on, John Morant.
Cam Ward is being his authentic self, and he went #1 for all. That's my only
authentic self.
What Bone said is true. It is the media that does a lot of it. But the issue becomes when now, like we have in this podcast, and Bone sounds like the media. He sounds just like the media on his take on black quarterbacks, because you're basically now justifying white quarterbacks can have, like we said, we done pointed out all the interceptions that they throw. But
no, I'm saying that they're better though.
They are better quarterbacks throwing that. You could throw 400 interceptions as this white quarterback, and you better than the black quarterback that threw 100, because him throwing 100 was a problem, but you throwing 400, what? And we can still get over and win with you throwing 400, but with this black quarterback throwing 100, he can't win with that. That sounds media-ish, because it's not true, and that's what we're saying, that the black quarterbacks do not get a fair opportunity.
I'm saying what he didn't do, Reem. If he goes to a team, okay, it's Peyton Manning's fault. He got Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne. However you want to slice it. I'm not saying it's Jameis Wilt or it's Peyton Manning's fault that he had them to throw to, but I guarantee you this: Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison wouldn't trade Jameis Winston for Peyton Manning. And he threw all these damn interceptions. That is not
the point. That is not the point of who they would trade for. Because if they didn't get the opportunity to play with him, they don't know if they would have preferred to play with him or not.
I guarantee you they wouldn't. They wouldn't even have to. They wouldn't have to know what their career was with this man. They wouldn't have to.
Because that's the career that they already had. You ain't gonna trade what you already have for something you don't know.
Exactly. That's my point. But I
He said
guarantee
they are.
you,
Chad said they already talking about if CJ Stroud don't have a good year, what is Houston going to do? Now, if anybody says that, see, that's what we talking about. Those are those dog whistles, man. CJ Stroud, come on, bro.
and CJ Stroud is going to get paid.
If they get rid of him, we know
Now if
something.
he don't play that well.
Hey, but did you notice this one year? I don't know if y'all seen this, but CJ Stroud always comes on and gives thanks to God and says, you know, gives his appreciation to God. This one time, bro, on CBS, did you see they cut that part and then splice the interview back together? I don't know if y'all seen that or not. But that in itself, like that's the same thing with Mark Jackson. And I'm telling you, bros that do anything, you can be too bombastic and beat your chest. You can be too religious. But if you black and vocal about whatever, from God to guns, you're going to get blackballed. So what about Mark Jackson? Is that the media? Because you're right, the media is the main thing, and that I think that is what gets on me and Remy's nerves the most. Okay, I think you hit the nail on the head with that one, bro. So I'll give you that point. But some of this stuff is the organization as well. SHEDUER, organization, collusion. Kaepernick, collusion, coming together. They block in, they do these things. When I say you name me a time racism is obvious. I'm saying, when is racism obvious? When can we say that this is obviously racism? And those times are
add Kelman to that collusion.
Cam, Mark Jackson,
Cam. Well,
Mark Jackson.
Different strokes.
Mark
he
Jackson
said that he could still be in the league, and Cam could have played for teams. He didn't want the team or the situation that he went to. And I think that, you know, Cam, I think he was a phenomenal athlete, but as he got older, he relied heavily on his athleticism. And when that waned a little bit, he wasn't exactly the same player, but he still could have been on the NFL roster. And I think that is the difference, though. Cam, his style of
can I go to Dad?
From somebody that's
old. Look what he said. Look at this. Look at this, bro. We ain't even got to this. We haven't got to this. Look. Oh, Mike Vick. Mike Vick.
Mm-hmm.
He's another one. I mean, right. You know, Mike Vick came back to the NFL. They was gonna try to do that bench stuff with him. Remember when he got to Philadelphia? And Andy Reid said,
hold on, wait a minute. You said they were about to do the bench stuff. What you mean the bench stuff?
They had Michael Vick coming off the bench in Philadelphia.
Did you forget he was behind Donovan? He was behind Donovan McNabb.
You think Donovan McNabb was a better quarterback than Mike Vick?
No, I do not think he was a better quarterback than Mike Vick. But he had taken the Eagles to the damn Super Bowl. He was a good quarterback.
I get what you're saying, but what he said was that they were trying to do the bench stuff with it, and you said that they forget that they had Donovan McNabb. So if I'm backing you up, that means you're better than me. And that's why I asked, do you think Donovan McNabb was a better quarterback than Mike Vick?
No, but I don't think that he was going to start over him when he first got it.
Like Mike
wasn't going to start over
trying to like
if sports is going off of what it's supposed to be, the best supposed to play, right? If I beat you out for a position, then I'm supposed to play. If you beat me out for a position, you're supposed to play, right?
I believe so. Yes, and when he first got to Philadelphia, he wasn't a better quarterback than Donovan. Donovan had a better control and better understanding of the offense. He was not better than Donovan McNabb when he first got to Philadelphia. He was not. No. When he understood the offense, he knew the playbook, he knew the reads, he knew protections, knew how to check in and out of plays. Yes, and when he got the opportunity, he made the most of it. When he first got to Philadelphia, there's no way he was better than Donovan McNabb. And no, he cannot step and play.
At the Philadelphia offense.
At Philadelphia. No, he was not better. Not even close.
Because
In that
Donovan
system.
McNabb had been there for so long. I can understand that. I can rock with you on that. I can rock with you on that. But there was still a humbling feel to it. It wasn't as
How?
pure as you're saying it.
How?
Because they wanted him to be thankful that he was able to play in the NFL now.
Exactly.
Like,
Y'all are talking about the media. Y'all are talking about the media because what Philadelphia did for Vic, what they did
we
was
are talking about the media. Yes, the media. The media. I want to challenge.
Just say you don't like
now.
what the media says. Just say you don't like what
I don't like the media or the organizations.
Hey,
The organization made him the only player in NFL history to sign 2 $100 million contracts in their career. How can you be mad at the? Oh, hold on. Explain to me.
Chad said Mike Vick was better than McNabb when he was in Leavenworth.
What did he say?
Chad said he was better than McNabb when he was in Leavenworth.
Chad is crazy. But look
at this. And this is but Bone, wait a minute. I don't think that we are kind of getting into the meat and potatoes of this thing, right?
No, but will you answer me that though? How can you be mad at the organization if they gave him a $100 million?
Philadelphia as not Philadelphia as the organization, but I'm saying in general. I look at the organization of the NFL, the organizations individually, and the media as all components of how this racism gets distributed. They all be playing the game.
Mistreated T.O. They mistreated T.O. like a mug.
Yeah.
So it ain't just black quarterbacks; it's black players. Period. Who have a persona.
He said, "I thought he was behind Kevin Cobb." Mike Vick was behind Kevin Cobb.
That is true.
Not Donovan McNabb. Now let's see.
He was behind Donovan McNabb.
Hold on, we about to see. Who was? Where's my chat GPT? Okay, I got a real chat GPT on deck at all times. We used to go to Google. Now we're going to chat. Hold on, where's talking all that
and
stuff?
Pop was saying that McNabb threw the perfect spiral. I mean that Vic threw a perfect spiral ball, but they always try to act like he couldn't throw. That he was just a running quarterback. And Mike Vick threw a beautiful ball.
There you go. What about that? But that was back then.
When Vic came into the league, they said he had one of the strongest arms in the league.
But they classified him as a runner.
Because he was unbelievably fast. And part of that was, self-imposed because self-admittedly, Mike Vick didn't study the playbook. And he didn't know his reads. And he said he never studied. And that's what got him out of Atlanta. Outside of obviously the
that had nothing to do with him because he was electrifying in Atlanta, and they would not him. It wasn't for the dog fight.
When he was in Atlanta, he had said himself. Nobody would have known this had he not said it. He didn't.
I know that.
He didn't study. That. He didn't know the plays.
That ain't why he got
when you don't know the plays, when you don't know the play. When you do not know the plays and you're not locked into what you got to do, what ends up happening in the case of Mike Vick, you're going to rely on your legs a lot because guess what? You got to get the ball out of there on time into the right place. When you can't do that regularly, you're going to be running a lot. A lot of that was self-imposed. You're not studying. You're not locked into what the play sheet is.
You said that was what got him up out of Atlanta. That had nothing to do.
All right, I got it. I got the Michael Vick situation, and both.
No. Wide receivers in Atlanta were frustrated with Mike Vick. Please believe that was going to be.
They didn't get rid of him in Atlanta because of that. I don't care if the wide receivers were frustrated. They was not getting rid of Michael Vick when you had the whole Michael Vick experience thing. That is not why they got rid of him. They got rid of him because of public opinion for the dog fight.
No, I'm saying, okay, you're 100% correct. Let me clarify. If that continues and he's in Atlanta, that is going to be problematic. I don't care how electrifying his play is because it's going to catch up with you. When he got hurt in Atlanta, they were saying it was because he was holding the ball in the pocket when he got his leg broke. The problem was he was not making progress as a pocket passer. They don't want to take away the fact that he can run because that's a one-of-a-kind talent. Nobody else could do that. But he also had to play within the frameworks of the offense the way that was designed. He wasn't doing that. And that would be a problem if he does that.
So listen, in 2009 season, Vic was signed as a backup after serving a prison sentence and returning to the NFL. The starter was Donovan McNabb, and Vic was used occasionally in Wildcat packages. Then 2010
he came in against the Green Bay Packers and balled out of control and started from then on out.
2010 offseason, McNabb was traded to Washington, and Kevin Cobb was named the starter. 2010 season, Vic started as a backup to Kevin Cobb. After
came in against the Green Bay Packers
in week 1.
You just said that was the previous season. Which one was
Vic
it?
took over and became the starter, eventually having a Pro Bowl season. But he was a backup to Kevin Cobb. And for that period of time when they were saying that Kevin Cobb was the starter and Michael Vick wasn't, and they did start Kevin Cobb, by the way, until he got injured. So that's what we're talking about. You want to put Michael Vick behind Kevin Cobb, and then when Kevin Cobb gets injured, Michael Vick goes on to have a Pro Bowl season. But you would have had him on the bench if Kevin Cobb would have just played mediocre to good, like if he was just a game manager and they was winning like that. You would have had Michael Vick on the shelf, and that's exactly what they try to do to these black quarterbacks, to humble them, teach them a lesson, and then basically capitulate to MAGA. Basically, they're MAGA fan base.
My belief on that situation, specifically with Michael Vick, I think that is not true. The reason being, he was playing for Andy Reid. Andy Reid does not like to start people their first year in this system. He
started Kevin Cobb, didn't he?
Who?
When McNabb got traded, was Kevin Cobb already here?
No, I think he had already played in this system before. But
exactly.
But he did the same. He did the same thing with Patrick Mahomes. And people, if you happened with Mahomes, he was in there, and people were saying, they were raving about how good he was, and he should be starting, and he should be the one. But he didn't put him in there until he was 100% ready, because his system is complex. But you know, if you believe that, you know, that he should have been in there, that's just your opinion. But I don't believe that had anything to do with him being humbled. He didn't want to play him till he was going to be the best version of Mike Vick. And if he had it his way, if he wouldn't have gotten hurt, he wouldn't have wanted him to be out there early on. He wanted him to be out there when he could play his best.
I think they held him out because, first of all, they're gonna call it a distraction when you get all media attention for something else, regardless of, oh, that's a distraction to the team. It's a locker room issue, all this and that. So what they do is, until they think it's okay for that the media is accepting it and it won't be this story or that story brought to the team, they shelf them until then. And that's exactly that's what they did with Vic. They was worried because you couldn't go start Vic when you got Peter outside protesting all the games. You can't start him. So the best thing you gonna do, we gonna put him on the bench. We got him on the team. We might want to use him, or we play him in a couple packages. But as long as they outside picketing with their signs, we're not gonna play him. And then until they got into a need, and that's where they traded McNabb because they didn't want to have that controversy there. And then with Cobb, and then when he got hurt, you had no choice with the plan. And Mike Vick just ran with it because Mike Vick is Mike Vick, which is one of the best to ever do it. But they wouldn't have played him. They was definitely trying to just keep him onto the sidelines. And that's an organization
why though,
decision
Brent? I
because
don't understand why.
the organization goes off of what the media is saying. Best believe the media it got a play on all of this type of stuff. The organizations make moves based off of what the media says because if they don't want certain type of attention brought to them. You just made a point earlier. You said they either want to win or they want to make money. Making money is the most important thing. If winning is a byproduct that happens with making money, it's cool. But if we don't make money, we don't care. That's why we talk about with the Cleveland Browns. They ain't cared about if they won or not. They have a fan base that is like no other. People travel with them. They go all over this and that, and people love the Browns. But the Browns have not put out a winning product in I don't know how many years. We 50 now, and we've probably seen the Browns in the playoff, 3 times in our lifetime?
Yeah. With Bernie
that ain't trying to win. That's just about making money.
But in the case of Mike Vick, he was with Philly. Philly is trying to win. Philly does.
Look at this, Bone. Look, Bone has forgotten how polarizing the Vick situation was at the time.
They hated Mike Vick. I have not. But
do you remember all them people outside the arena protesting?
Right.
You think they was gonna play him with that?
But hold on. This is why I say if it was as polarizing as it was, any team that signed him, they really wanted Mike Vick because they knew they were going to be ostracized next moment from the moment they signed him. It wasn't a matter if you played him or not. You got this damn dog killer on your roster. You got him on your team. How dare you sign him? And that's exactly what happened. People were going crazy. Whether he played on the team or didn't, they were mad that they signed him because he should have never gotten the privilege to go back and make millions again. That was the issue.
And that's what Cuz was just talking about the humbling effect of trying to say we got to humble you in order for you to be in this opportunity to get that.
And hold on, bro. Wait a minute.
That's not the Eagles, though. That's not the Eagles. The Eagles signed
It's the NFL. It's the NFL.
The Eagles signed
no, look, I think that Bone is right. Bone is right when he's saying like Bone is right when he's saying like the teams that sign Michael Vick, we can't get mad at them or say nothing. Like they're almost having to capitulate to like this public outrage. All right, so good. We understand that. But I'm not picking and choosing the source of where the racism is being spewed from in order for me to recognize it. You are saying, okay, listen, bro, the racism isn't coming directly from the organization. A lot of it is coming from the media. In this case, it's not really coming from the media. It's coming from like fanfare, cancel culture, this, that, like mob mentality. Get them, get him. But all of it has that demonization of Black people with this double standard because like, okay, yes, I don't like a dog killing. I don't want that. I hate it. I hate it. But no more than I hate the zoo, the circus, all of the other torturous organizations, industries, all of this horse racing. And man, anytime you are making something do something that's like out of their control or profiting or monetizing or whatever, the zoo is terrible to me. Like, bro, you literally capturing wild animals and putting them into a zoo for money. And then you try to justify it by saying we're keeping them safe and saying just crazy, wild lies. Like, bro, but it's not natural. So the whole point is saying that Michael Vick, outside of football, outside of this, he was made an example out of, bro. He was demonized as a Black man. His main criminal act was being Black first, then dog fighting. You were dog fighting as a nigga. That's where you was wrong. Because, bro, they go around and do the same type of stuff. They have like they have boxing and all of these other things that are called sport, but they are actually just physically violent sports that are being monetized. But as soon as a black person does it, like Ja Morant, I want to go to Ja Morant for 1 second because the main thing was not him having a gun. It was him having a gun as a nigga. That's the problem. Because any other white boy can hold up an AR-15 and talk about how great of a hunter they are. They're patriotic or this, that, and the third. Say, oh, he had a gun in the club. Why wouldn't he have a gun in the club? Shit, he probably need a gun in the club. He wanted to go out, had a gun, he didn't shoot nobody with it. He was flexing, having fun. I know they say, oh, that's not right. That's not right. I can understand what you're saying because of sponsorships and little shit, but it wasn't for real, all of that. But you have this effort to demonize, humble, make down, bow down. And they like, everybody else got this, whatever amendment it is to be able to bear arms, except niggas. If you got a gun and you black, you're a criminal, flat out. If you show it, it's brandishing. So the main thing is black people never get guns. When black people don't have guns and everybody else from MAGA does, now you are a sitting duck with no protection, no nothing. All because
that's not true though, bro.
Never pick up a gun. You see what happened with Ja Morant. Everything all I'm saying is when a black person has a gun, there's a criminal stigma attached with that photo compared to a white person having a gun. It's some type of Fifth Amendment stance, right? It's like gun
so
advocate.
What are you using as your comp? Like, what are you comparing that to? Because when you talk about Ja Morant, you're talking to the vibe. Hold on, I just want to wait a minute. Just listen to me, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about Ja Morant. So your situation is an NBA situation. So what is your comp? What are you comparing that to? What white person have you seen with a gun in the NBA that has not been told to not brandish or carry a firearm into a club or to some public establishment? That's a great question. And then
I actually looked this up before because I've been concerned about this issue. I looked it up and they have the whole Duke team, the Duke Blue Devils. Their whole
Wait a
team.
minute, bro. Go ahead. I started off by saying NBA, because that's different. Duke. Where is your comp? So what do you mean how? That's the NBA. You're talking about college people. I'm just asking you, like, to clarify for me, who in the NBA, you're talking about two separate organizations. You're talking about in the NBA where people can get suspended or whatever. NBA is a professional basketball league. What is your comp, bro? What are you talking about? You have to stay consistent when you're
I'm not talking about like categorizing the industry that's spewing the racism. We just talking about in general racism.
But you have to. You have to. You know why? You have to though. You know why? Because what happened to Ja Morant was what his issue was the NBA told him he cannot be carrying guns and stuff. He didn't get in trouble with the police.
But how can they do that though? How can the NBA?
That's your employer. Your employer can tell you that. Your employer can tell you that. And if you feel the need
on your Fifth Amendment right though, bro. Like
no. You can, but they have the right to say you can't do that in our league. They can say that too.
Let me speak on that. Where Ja Morant messed up at was that they said do not have it at NBA if you can't have it at an NBA sponsored activity. But even though that's his employer, they can't tell him what to do when he's not at an NBA sponsored activity. Period. So he has the right. They don't have the right to do it. Your employer can't tell you you can't carry a gun.
They have clauses in contracts every day, Reem. They have clauses. They have clauses as simple as you can't do certain activities in the off season. They can't tell you what to do. They can tell you what to do.
Will said that Ja Morant hurt their bottom line. I don't think Ja Morant doing any of that hurt their bottom line. I think they made money off of that. And I think when Ja Morant, they was gonna threaten him to not release Ja Morant's shoes, and they did, and Ja Morant's shoes sold off the shelves. What nobody like leaving?
That's
Ja
not the
Morant.
NBA. That's not the NBA bottom line, though. Really, though, June.
That's Nike bottom line.
That's Nike. That's not the NBA.
But I'm saying the point is he's still being a face of this thing. Like, it's an overreaction from public scrutiny that the organization suspended Ja Morant. The NBA
but your perspective is sort of
any of that
your
if it wasn't
perspective
for cancel culture, weak ass, fake ass cancel culture. That's nothing for real. Like, bro,
no, it's a real. And they told
I
did not have the gun.
I get what
because
it's the media putting it out there. Because what he's saying is, you telling him he can't have a gun. So now what that end up trickling down to is saying to the next generation or anybody else, even though it's legal to have guns, we done told Ja Morant you can't have a gun. So now y'all don't carry guns because y'all see what happened to Ja Morant. And that's what he's saying. It's talking about on a bigger thing of saying that it's trying to weaken us as saying, so when this all go down or something goes down, oh, they're ill prepared and they're not prepared for it. But yet you see pictures of white people with they got young kids carrying rifles and all type of stuff, and that's okay. And that's it's okay for them to do that and teach their kids how to shoot and how to do this and that. But when we got a gun and we got the right to bear arms, there's a problem with it.
Yes,
there's a problem, and we should be stripped of that. And they use our athletes and other media and other entertainers to start to the stripping of what they try to pass on into the rest of our society. And it's not cool. You know what I'm saying? If everybody got the right to bear arms, the NBA players should have the right to bear arms too. I'm not saying Ja Morant needs to get on camera.
I'm saying the Fifth Amendment is the Second Amendment.
I believe what you're saying is true. But if the league tells you can't have a gun, that don't mean you can't have a gun. That means you can't have a gun and be in this league. That's what y'all are losing. They're not stripping your right to not have a gun. The white boys in there, same thing. That's why I asked you at the beginning.
Don't believe that.
Where is your Where's your comparison? Where's your white boy doing that?
This is where Ja Morant messed up at. Ja Morant decided to go on social media and showing the gun. If he would have his gun and nobody knew he had his gun, because best believe there's white players in that league that's walking around carrying guns, hunting, and doing all that type of stuff.
That's my point. That's my point. There's plenty of brothers still in the league that are strapped, and you know this. It's plenty of them. I think that was very immature, and that was dumb on Ja Morant's part, because after he got caught with the gun, they told him not to do it no more, and he did it again a couple weeks after that.
He did not do it again. No, he didn't. He got
caught on a live with a gun.
But it wasn't his live. It wasn't his live. He was sitting in the car and sitting in the car. His friend went live.
You have to be a lot more responsible. I will hope my friend won.
Trying to show anybody he had a gun. So you mean to tell me Ja Morant can catch a stray, get suspended, lose all his money?
No, what I'm trying to say, if I were Ja Morant, I think my people would tell me what happened to Ja Morant happened to me on that live after what happened in the strip club with the gun. They would say, "You dummy. Why were you even in there? And who was recording you? And why did you have that gun in a car just riding around? That was stupid. I don't care how you slice it. With the amount of money at stake, for that boy, that was
tell me Ja Morant, out of all people, should not have a gun to defend himself, knowing the type of culture, knowing the type of vibe, people getting caught up like Ja Morant out of anybody to have a gun to protect themselves. It would be more understandable for Ja Morant to be able to protect himself and have a gun.
What I'm saying. That's saying. What I'm saying is to get caught on the live with the gun is stupid.
In case somebody tried to do something to him or his family, because they think he got.
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying there's
So
nothing
what's
wrong
the
with that. What
problem
I'm
then?
saying is clear. I'm saying getting caught on a live with a gun is stupid. I'm going to keep saying it. Getting caught on live with a gun is stupid. Right after they told you not to have no guns out. That was dumb. That was dumb.
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. It wasn't his lie. I just
What
think
you're
that it's
saying, the problem,
over.
bro, is what you're saying is not what happened. He can have many guns as he wants to protect himself. I'm saying he can do that all day, every day. Getting caught on a live, just
How
lollygagging
is
and
he
having a
getting
gun
caught?
out.
How is he getting caught? Who is he getting caught by?
The
That's the
people that
problem.
suspended him, the people that suspended him the following week.
Parental organization over him saying you got caught. And he's like, no, I didn't get caught. What about the Second Amendment? I got a gun to protect myself. Oh, my friend was on live. Y'all seen the gun? I wasn't doing shit with it. John Morant wasn't committing no crime, bro. And you keep saying he getting caught. He getting caught. What the fuck is he getting caught doing? Caught means you was doing something wrong and being exposed or being found out, but he wasn't doing shit wrong, but just protecting himself.
So what?
Okay,
I
you believe that if you want.
What I think happened is, you know what I'm saying,
John
in this
Morant was
situation.
committing a crime with the gun. Was John Morant committing a crime with the gun?
He wasn't
didn't do
committing a
nothing
crime,
wrong.
but what he did was, and this is what was wrong in that, because we got to look at let's look at how we all grew up with each other. Okay, we know that if something was going down or somebody was doing something wrong, people didn't take certain people with them when they was doing it. So therefore, Ja Morant should have had a friend that was smart enough to know my boy got a gun right here, and what's going on with his situation. I ain't gonna go on live to show him with the gun. This ain't for everybody to see. Everything ain't for everybody to see. He was not wrong in no form or fashion for having a gun. Where he was wrong at was having a dumbass friend who didn't respect the fact that Ja Morant is the bag. That's where we go wrong at. With we have there's too many people around that's trying to milk off of you, but don't understand you're the one getting the bag. I can't put you in this position for you to mess up to not get the money because of me. Like that's where the stupidity comes in at. Just like when we talk about with Mike Vick. Mike Vick should have never been the one that took the rep on that. You got a bunch of people that's trying to live off of you, and if he participating in dog fighting this and that, he's supposed to have been swept away from that, and somebody else ate that. Not the bag. You don't let the bag get in trouble when it's feeding everybody. And that's what I just think that wasn't smart from his boy. And back in the day, it's the same as when we was coming up. When you had athletes that was good and they was doing stuff, and the cats in the streets like, hey, nah, you can't come over here. Nah, you go over there. You ain't going to do. You stay away from that. Nobody's saying that to him. Now you got your boy with you. Yeah, look at my dude, and he got a gun. And now he losing $100 million, but you want to be on the entourage and the payroll. Well, how you gonna pay you if he losing this money?
That money he lost because of that gun, he'll never retain. And the dude that was recording, if that was some of the most, you cannot reward stupidity. That event that happened was not the first time that happened. That was after they done brought you in and said you can't do this no more. That's what's wrong, bro. That's what you're losing. It. They told you that you can't do this. And with that kind of money at stake, at that point, if you feel the need to protect yourself so much, hire you some world-class security because you got the money to do it.
That's true.
I mean,
and that's what most of them do.
If you feel that threatened, you should get some people that are trained to have firearms and know what to do with them when it calls for action. That was dumb.
So there are men just like him, but they can have a gun, but he can't because he's a child.
You're changing it, bro. Nobody's saying he can't have a gun. Having a gun, would you think
him? How do we know he got the money to just have somebody walk around with him that can have the same gun? Like, bro, this man can have the gun, but this man cannot.
Bro, we don't know how much money he had to spend on security.
What about if he had? Okay, let me ask you this: what about if He was in the video, but had an armed guard with him that had a gun. Would that have been okay?
Yes.
He cannot have it. If he got someone else that has it, he's fine.
And then he can tell the NBA.
Crazy, bro. Do y'all hear this shit, bro? Y'all saying another human being can have the gun in the same car, but he can't. Why?
That's his armed security.
That's his
The NBA has security,
bro.
That travel
security.
with stuff with
guns.
He can't be his own security. He can't be.
He can.
He just can't show it on
You know what?
But the armed guard can show the gun, but he can't show it because
he shouldn't be showing it either. It really ain't no reason to brandish to show that you got a gun.
Show it. That's what you're losing. You're losing.
So is having a gun on your hip and a hip holster brandishing your weapon?
No.
It is after the NBA told you not to have guns no more. And if it's worth,
so he could have had a gun in his holster. Could he have had a holster and had the gun in it?
The league told him not to have guns no more, bro. Why ain't you? They told him.
He cannot, because hold on, Bone. Because listen, bro. Listen. The league cannot tell this man to not protect himself and make himself feel safe. A gun is an actual tool that a lot of people have on them.
Bro, you know what?
Hold on, wait a minute, bro. Wait a minute, because you keep saying
but you're not saying nothing that's true.
The NBA needs to be held accountable. If anything, whatever happened to that man, for them telling him as part of this job that he has to give away his Second Amendment right, knowing that he is a target as well. Like that's another big part of this.
Bro,
if anybody should carry a gun,
the NBA can do that, and they do it every day. They do it every day. They can tell you that. That's why they have contracts, and that's why they are legally binding. No matter what you say, they can do that. And if you went to court, you would lose.
No,
they can do that.
They have like,
but you don't. You're saying they can
contracts and all this and that. But it's wrong. The NBA needs to be sued for them.
I don't think they'll lose. They will lose.
Why would they tell this man that he cannot protect himself and have a gun?
This is entertainment. This is family-friendly entertainment, and the image that they portray extends beyond what happens on the basketball court. You have this dude that how many of these people you hear about, and I understand you about people getting robbed because of how it get robbed all the time.
How it looks. A black man with a gun looks dangerous and it's frightening, because that's what this is all boiling down to. Like, why?
No, it's not, bro. No, it's not. They're not saying you can't have guns. If he would have got in trouble, nobody would have known. Nobody would have known he was carrying guns until he was being careless and irresponsible, showing off one. He shouldn't pull out a gun until you need to use it.
I just looked it up. Hey, y'all, I just looked it up. It said the NBA does not prohibit players from owning guns legally, but it has strict rules regarding the possession of firearms in relation to league and team activities. So that means that, honestly, like I said, for him, the only thing he did that was wrong was playing with the gun, like, hey, look at, I got a gun, because it wasn't just the NBA. That was going to affect his endorsement deals. And he probably making more money off of endorsements than basketball. So that was where it wasn't smart at. And Nike has shown time and time again that if you are an athlete, especially a black athlete, and you have any type of problems that go on, we're going to drop you. They dropped Kyrie for not taking a shot, because he didn't want to get the COVID shot or whatever. They dropped Kyrie. So therefore, you have to have some, if you're going to be with Nike and you're going to be a Nike athlete, which most of these young players want to be, it's all about Nike, this and that. You got to have enough sense to know what not to do. So he was not wrong. He was not
stupid.
He was not wrong. I don't even think he would have been wrong for having a gun in a holster, but he was wrong for being on a live, because the first thing was him showing the gun, listening to music and all that type of stuff. That wasn't going to go well. But the NBA cannot mandate him. It just said they have no rules that say he can't have guns. So therefore, that means that then that would be individualizing them trying to make a rule for him, because under the collective bargaining agreement with the Players Association, the players can legally have guns and own guns. So the NBA could not change the rule now for him and say, Ja Morant, you can't have a gun. So they would have been wrong in that instance. But Ja Morant should have tried to protect his bag more.
For how it looks honestly, it looks bad for a young black man to dance with a gun. Okay, it looks bad, and that's the problem. All right, that's the
problem is the problem.
That's the problem, bro. They feel like they'll lose sponsors, lose money. It looks bad to kids, and this, that, and the third. It looks dangerous. It looks frightening for a young black man to be seen with a gun. Even if this young black man is not a criminal, he's actually super rich. He has no motive to go out and use this gun to commit any type of crime. But he's showing the gun to just say, like, oh, listen to rap music. This is part of kind of like gangster rap culture. But like, it's like he entrenched too much in the culture, and it's a problem.
That is not a good look. That's not a good look for anyone.
I guarantee you, if Birdman or Jokic or one of them was having a gun, talking about how much they love to hunt, they would go do a MTV Cribs. They would show them their gun collection.
I agree.
It would be just fine. It would be no problem. But go and let one of these black kids.
Hold on, bro. You said somebody on MTV. You said somebody on MTV Cribs showing their gun collection.
Yeah,
I'm imagining how this would be
if Ja Morant was on MTV Cribs showing his gun collection. I don't think that would have been nearly as bad as what they saw in that live.
What did he do in the live? They showed the gun for like
and it looked like
a second. It was like a half a second. It wasn't Ja Morant didn't get in the camera and be like, you see, I'm still with this real shit.
No.
He didn't do no.
But see, that wasn't the.
They showed it for like a little
bro.
Second. They said, "Oh, was that a gun?"
Bro,
let's slow it down. It was crazy, bro.
You're losing. You got to be fair to what happened. This was after the incident at the strip club where he had the gun. And they brought him in and told him about having guns out in public. This is a guy who is potentially the face of the league, like you would say. I can't say it would be handled differently with a white player doing, I don't know. I ain't never seen that though. I can't even say that. I think they would get in trouble if you just out kicking it in a club, in a nightclub, just randomly pulling a gun out. I think even a white player get in trouble for something like that. That's not smart. At the end of the day, even for a black player, you got to be smarter than that. When you know the money that's at stake, knowing that you get treated different, why do the stuff to make yourself that's going to accelerate you getting into that situation? At some point, you have to be accountable. You got to be accountable for your behavior. That what he did. I don't care how young I was. My parents would have been on my head like, boy, you are dumb. Why would you do something like that, knowing that the money that you to lose, you're going to lose. I would have told you that too.
I would have told you that too.
And that's what I'm saying. And to say that action was, and to say for you to be like that, he only had for 1 second. My mom would have had, if you would have had that gun for 1 millisecond, that was 1 millisecond too long. You are dumb. That's stupid. And if ain't nobody in this camp telling him that, I guarantee you he'll be in that situation again. You cannot report bad behavior. That was a dumb move.
And I say this.
It was not, man. It wasn't.
I say if that situation had been the three of us and you the one in the situation that's getting the money and Bone recorded it on live and that happened and you got in trouble by it, I would have cussed both of y'all out.
I understand what y'all are saying, and I understand the whole premise. I'm with you. I know what you mean. To lose $200 million over something you can control and just like, man, chill for real. That's stupid. I don't want him losing the
That's
money.
not something that you can control, though. That's something that you know better.
He can control.
They
Listen,
just told you.
He can control who he around. He can actually not have a gun. He can hire security. There's a bunch of different stuff that he could actually do. Okay, beside having the gun himself. And for him to not take all those precautions and end up losing the money is dumb. I understand that premise, but my point to rebuttal, and then we're gonna wrap because I know we over 2 hours. But my point was, I was gonna say this. I think that the whole in this viewpoint of John Morant did something stupid. Yes, I understand that, but I still feel as though there's an overview of just tone, element, setting, agenda, programming. All of these things are taking place, pulling these strings of John Morant can't have a gun, because there's an overarching theme of dangerous black men with guns. And by all means, we do not want black people thinking it's okay to have guns, because it frightens white people and it will run sponsors away.
You can't have guns, bro. They're not saying that. That's
They
my
are
thing.
saying that. They're saying don't show yourself with a gun. They don't care if he has a gun, but you're a nigga. And if you show yourself with a gun, it's going to scare off the money. So never show yourself as a young bro with dreads and with a gun.
You want to know what, bro? You gotta be
no crime, bro.
In that your position, you have to be fair to the NBA. All that may be true, but they're worried about what the NBA looks like in this situation. And they don't want people saying everybody in that league, all these black players, they got guns and this, that, and the third. Exactly. They're worried about that.
Exactly.
But they're not saying you can't. But they're not saying you can't have guns. They don't care if every dude in that league has a gun.
All points are valid here, but I will tell you the most important point that's being kind of that we touched it but didn't touch on it. Most importantly, is for him. The most important thing he should learn from that: turn your phone off. Quit recording everything. Everything ain't for everybody. Period. You know what I'm saying? Everything is not for everybody to see, because regardless of what it is, there's an image and everything out here. And because you can be this person behind closed doors or be this, but in this role here, in this billion-dollar industry, you got to play this image to make this money. Do that. It ain't being fake. That's actually being real. You being real to yourself. So therefore, if you like to play with guns, shoot guns, all this and that, everybody don't have to know that. And you don't have to let everybody know who you are. So now it becomes a Dave Chappelle situation where keeping it real go wrong. Everything ain't for everybody. So that's what the only thing I see that was wrong in the situation was him or his friend, whoever cut on their live was wrong. And that was the stupid part of it.
They weren't wrong. They were dumb. They were dumb. It's no way around. Y'all don't want to say that, but sometimes you just gotta say, man, if let me tell you like
not
this.
On a not
if I would have
a level in which it was done, but there's also a level of over enforcement of the law and basically just demonizing black men with this imagery of guns. Blacks are a no-no.
That's not the law, though,
yes,
bro. It's not the law. No.
It's the media. It's the outrage. It's cancel culture.
No, that's not the media, though. That is the rules of the NBA. And I think that's what gets lost.
Right.
In this situation,
the
NBA has an image
stereotype that being demonstrated against black people. And that's why they made the rule based on public perception and demonization of black people, imagery of them having guns. And the last thing
what rule, bro?
Black people.
I just told y'all it's not a rule that they can't have a gun.
It's not.
They can't have a gun.
They can't be shown with a gun. We understand that. That's that's the point. They don't want them seen with the gun that they're allowed to have.
But they don't want any of them, though, bro. Huh? They don't want anybody. They don't want any of them showing guns like that.
Listen, if that was an all-white league, they wouldn't have that rule in place. I'll tell you that 1,000,000%.
So was John Morant, did he miss any games because of that?
Absolutely.
He got suspended.
So
He got suspended.
So
That
somewhere
he got suspended. And that's my whole point. When you go up there
Right.
in these leagues, they have rules, and if you don't want to abide by them, then don't take the paycheck. It's real simple. If you work for someone, they have rules, and the amount of money that they are paying them kids, it's not that big of a deal for him to not have a gun or not get caught doing what he was doing, playing in the one.
You
If
are right.
my parents would have,
right.
my
You're
parents
right.
would have
You're
been
right.
on my head, and it's no other word for that than just stupid. When you know how many people would never see $1 million in their life, and you talking about somebody that was on the verge of making 200 million plus, and you sabotaged it for endorsements as well as your contract for a damn gun that you weren't in need of shooting. That's stupid. And anybody that try to justify that is crazy. It's nothing about that was smart. It was nothing about that from having it smart, and it was nothing about his boys turning on that live.
Bro, hold on,
was
listen.
smart.
I'm not defending. I'm
You
not
are
defending. Hold on, wait a minute. You gotta let me finish. Listen, I'm not defending the actor in anything, right? I'm just defending the whole atmosphere of blacks and the imagery and how we get portrayed. That's what my bicker is, not John Morant. John, you say this beautifully, bro, and I'll give you. I want to give you juice because what you say is this. You say it's a lot of double standards, but we already know it's double standards. So a man can't hit no woman. You already know what time it is. You know the double standards, so just don't do it. That's what you're telling John Morant, essentially. Bruh, you know what time it is. Don't take the money if you don't want to play this game. You already know what it is. So don't come crying after you get caught. Even though this was a dumbass rule that should have never been made. You knew that it was a rule indeed, and all you had to do was not have a gun.
But it's not a rule.
It's not a rule though, bro. It's not a rule.
It's a rule for him not to brandish guns. I understand for the 10th time that they are allowed to have guns, but we don't give a damn about having guns. I'm talking about the imagery. The racist rears its head in the imagery. It's the same way that they always put the most goofy guy on the news to interview him about what happened. The media sensationalizes violence among black people. That's their whole thing, is to just make blacks seem bad one way or another. Pick the way. And this is just another way. So what I'm saying is I have a bicker with the premise, the whole big premise of him not being able to hold a gun in his hand if he wants to, because
but that's not true. That's not true.
I'm saying I don't like the rule. I challenge the rule.
It's not a rule.
I don't challenge them charging him or doing this and that, but the rule in itself is rooted.
You're just mad. It's not a rule. He don't have no rule.
Well, why did he get suspended and lose his money then?
Because they just told him to stop carrying and showing guns.
That's a rule. That's rule.
Not a rule.
Did they tell him to stop carrying, or did they tell him stop showing?
Stop showing a gun and being like reckless.
That's the rule. The rule is stop showing your gun because you got red.
No.
So it's the same thing as the rule. You're allowed to carry, like it's an open carry state, right? And it's only an open carry state. It's an open carry state until you ride around and it can't think, oh, I can carry a gun, until you driving with no license, you smoking and drinking and get pulled over. Then all of a sudden that gun charge,
a crime. Now you committed a crime.
Now that gun charge comes up with it, and then somebody will be arguing, well, I can carry a gun. You can until you do this, and that. So what they told him was you can carry the gun, just don't put it on. Just don't put it on live and show everybody that you got it. And I still don't understand why him or his friend would want to do that. For what? Who are you trying to impress?
Another thing is, like, John Morant didn't even, like, okay, I understand, like, you with this guy, But why you gonna punish me really for my friend going live? Not unless you can prove I told him to do it or I was aware he did it or something. Like I was
Because
like
you had the
participating
gun.
in the
You
live.
had the gun.
Like if it wasn't, if I didn't go live and my friend did something stupid, bro, like don't punish me and like destroy my name for real and just like make it seem like I did something wrong because I really didn't. I was following
you did
the
do
rules.
something wrong, though.
Friend
Bro,
went,
bro,
I
you
can say
keep saying
I
he didn't do nothing wrong.
Crime.
He
I
did
didn't
do
commit a
something wrong.
crime.
He did do something wrong.
All right, come on for shits and giggles, man.
What the
I love this podcast.
Will said, "Give me the what the hell, right?"
Hey man, I am totally blown. I'm blown away by bro tonight, man. I am blown away.
It's because he don't have a head wrap on. It's the backwards hat.
I cannot believe this.
Hold on, wait a minute. Are y'all telling me y'all can't even understand where I'm coming from?
I can't understand.
No, I understand where you're coming from, but I'm just saying that the stupidity of it was to keep showing it out here. You know what I'm saying? Like it's okay to do if you're doing certain things, but it ain't for everybody to see it. You have to keep some things that everybody don't know.
That I mean, the reason why I can't, and I'll be honest, man, I couldn't imagine going and having that conversation with my dad that one of y'all had the lot and I had the gun. And they had just told me not to.
Yeah, because you would have called me to come get you out of jail and not Uncle Spunk. So he didn't know.
And my whole thing is that's where the stupidity is. I'm sure the moment, like when you go into when John Morant goes in there to talk to the commissioner of the NBA, what do you say? Because look, bro, we trying to help you. You the face of the league, and this gonna make it more clear and concrete on how stupid this was. Stop carrying guns around. You can get a security detail. You're about to get a max deal. Just stop carrying guns around, or don't put them on live. Don't carry guns. And he clearly said, okay. And he went right out there 2 weeks later and was carrying guns and on the live. How dumb can you be?
Is why did the commissioner have to have that conversation with you? That shouldn't even got out of your camp. Your camp should have been like, hey, dog, hey, man, you tripping. When he was in the club, so I'm like, man, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Man, that's like being the star athlete and you driving drunk. You driving high. Why? You know what I'm saying? You got too many other outlets in order. Now, ain't nobody telling you don't drink. Ain't nobody telling you don't smoke. But you don't do it and go get behind the car and go behind the wheel and
you
go
got
drive.
A car service, and that is the problem. That is stupid, man. You have to be a lot more mature.
I think driving drunk, committing crimes, driving high, speeding, all of these things that you would be doing is different than carrying a gun and having
it is because those are laws.
And I think that right. So anybody that does these things,
but this is more stupid because
it is stupid. I'm not trying to say with John Morant losing the money wasn't no dumb thing. I don't think it was dumb for him to have a gun, though. I ain't gonna even lie, but
I do.
Okay. I mean, it turned out dumb. It turned out dumb because, like Dad said earlier, you can have a gun but don't get caught. And his friend caught him, so his a lot of it is his friend's fault, and it's John Morant's fault.
It definitely is.
Being able to,
for not being able to different. Would you look at that friend different?
Yeah. Yes. Like I said, if it's the three of us in this situation, I'm like,
no, this is specifically. Why would you? He didn't do anything wrong, and neither did you, according to you. Why would you look at him any different?
Because
he jeopardized the bag.
Why would you look at him different?
Hold on.
Listen, he jeopardized the bag.
I told you guys, I understand your premise. I understand your premise. But I think that there is also another
you understand.
You understand situation as to why this premise has to be in place in the first place. Like the premise is only there because of a racist tone.
No, it's not. No, it's not. That's what I'm saying. Everything ain't racist.
You have to read the last comment.
Everything is not racist, but some things are, and this is one of them. It's one of
That's
them.
not,
If
man.
it was all
That's
white,
not.
if this was an all-white player league, they would not have any rules against carrying guns. Do you think there's such a rule in
You
golf?
keep going back to that. There is
In
no
PGA?
rule against them carrying guns.
Showing
There's
a
not.
gun, showing a gun, showing a gun. Is that a rule in golf that no golf player can show a gun? What about in tennis? Is there a such rule that says that no player shall be showing a gun?
Don't know
If you participate in their tournaments. The reason why
you know what?
Rule,
You know the reason why
in
we
the
know
NBA
this
is
rule.
because the
You know
population
the
of
reason
black
why we know
players
this exists in the
participate in
NBA.
the NBA. The reason why this is a rule is because the amount of black players that participate in the NBA.
There's no
honestly,
rule.
did they have this? Did they? So there's no rule that he can't show a gun, yet he got suspended for it.
That's not a rule. That's not a
why would
rule.
he
I don't
get
know how many times we have
suspended?
to.
He got suspended for having a gun in the club.
No, he got suspended for showing the gun after they told him to stop carrying guns around in public.
That was the first time. The club was the first time. The club was the first time that he had a gun.
Right. The live was after they had told him.
He got suspended for the club and for the gun in the club.
No, he got suspended after what happened on that live.
He got suspended the first time too. He had to go down to some treatment center to get rehabbed in Florida.
He didn't get suspended.
Okay, so let me tell y'all where he got in trouble at. So the rules here,
they was like shooting them laser things too in Indiana.
I
forgot about that.
So what it says is under Section 9, Article 6 of the CBA, players are prohibited from possessing a firearm of any kind in numerous settings, including whenever a player is traveling on an NBA-related business, whether on behalf of the player's team, the NBA, or any league-related entity. Although Morant was partaking in a team-related activity while at Shotgun Willie's, he wasn't partaking in a team-related activity while at Shotgun Willie's. He was in Glendale as part of his team's road trip and subject to team rules and about personal conduct. So that's where he got messed up at. They was on a road trip. He wasn't on personal time. So, yeah, they probably told him then he ain't supposed to have a gun.
Exactly. And what happened 2 weeks later?
And and if you are shown or possess a firearm, you have the duty to provide your team proof of a proper license and registration. So, and Morant's relationship to the apparent firearm is not known. So that's where he got in trouble at, because he was on a road trip with the NBA.
Talk to bro, man. Talk to bro. He done bounced out. Oh, hold on. Hold on.
Yeah.
Did I come back? There I go.
All right. Yep. So you hear that?
Yeah. Let's get to the wrap, bro. Man, cuz, happy birthday, man. What are we doing?
Thank you.
Crazy.
I appreciate it.
Happy 50th birthday, bro. What you do, man?
Man, just chill with the family, man. That's it. My wife took me out to eat the Cooper Hawks with my brother and his wife and my niece and stuff. My nieces and her boyfriend. So we went out to Cooper Hawks and had dinner, and then just chill with the family. Had a little get together on Sunday. Bone came over to the house for the welcome home party for mom and pops and also for my birthday. So we had a good time. So just chill with the family. Had a family reunion on Saturday. So just been really just family oriented things all weekend. So everything went good. Had a good time.
Well, man, y'all want to know something cool? Let me tell y'all this. I hooped Sunday at our little family barbecue to send Maya and Q off. We all played basketball, me and all the kids, and They ain't kids. They Autumn sons. My son
Was the jumper
man,
working?
bro, I was so broke, man. My team actually won though. Man, I was broke, but I
Were you
made
able to
two
contribute
little
anything
backdoor
then?
shots though.
Were you contributing anything then? Did you
Oh
have the
yeah,
assist?
I controlled the whole pace. I controlled the team. I did it all. Yeah, I didn't make many shots, but I took the ball out every time. Is basically what I did. But it was really cool, man. Bone, I was just telling Cuz, listen, bro, the whole show we didn't even tell Remy happy birthday, man.
Man,
Cuz
you've been on a rant today, man. I don't know what happened to you, but something is clearly wrong.
Started the show off. He threw off the whole vibe, man. You know, like
you were muted for the first 5 minutes.
I know, man.
I started off the show giving props to Los.
I know that's the first problem. Don't it? That was our first mistake. Never give Los.
I sort of agree with that.
That's where we went wrong. And after that, I've been angry the whole show.
So for my shits and giggle, I gotta give a shout out to my niece again, Anaya Delon Gilbert, that I call Peaches, and now her nickname is Waddles because she's waddling around and she's 7 months pregnant. So I want to give a shout out to her, and because she thought it was funny for my birthday to package up and hand me some wipes and Depends. So I told her there was definitely going to be some get back. So Waddles, I told you once I got out here on the podcast, I was going to give you a shout out. So shout out to Waddles.
That's lit. Yes, sir. All right, Bone, go ahead with yours.
For me, mine would definitely have. Hey, man, I'm frustrated with bro, man. We got to get you some help, man.
What's the problem?
I can't believe you, man. You really acted up today. But mine definitely would be Mama G and Mr. Gilbert, man. They back home, had a good time just celebrating them going home and seeing just the happiness for them just to be back at the crib. So that was big to see and be a part of with them and getting to celebrate that and Ring's birthday. It was cool, man. It was real cool. And just catching up with the fam. It was a good time. So that was big for sure.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming because we definitely had a ball.
Yeah, and then for my
I don't think you should get one, bro, man. You wilding today, man. You been wild.
I was telling y'all the truth. I can't believe y'all don't understand what I've been saying the whole time.
I can't believe you
insane. I can't,
bro. You really you out there. You out there, son.
Nothing different about y'all now. Okay, so
hey man, bro, if you would have recorded me, I gotta be truthful. I would have beat you up, man. I would have beat you up. Damn that. I gotta be truthful now, man. If one of y'all would have recorded me, I would have took the gun and probably shot y'all after I got out of my meeting and they let me know I lost all this money. One of y'all would have got popped. Put it like that. I'm definitely gonna look at you different because you're gonna have some new holes in your body. How about that?
Bro, can I please give mine, man? Jesus, man.
Oh, no, man.
Right, so mine, I actually went and played basketball this weekend. Y'all said you already told us that, but let me tell you what happened to me. I didn't tell you this. First play of the game, my nephew, Q, this is Lionel's son, man. This is the Q. My nephew is like the best dude, bro. Bro, he goes to the hole. I try to step in front of him. Now, either my feet got tangled up or something, or somebody just pushed me over, bro. And I hit the ground. Boom, boom. And I got up acting like I was okay. Hey, you all right? Oh, yeah, I'm good. My knee all banged up right now. My hands broke. What? Oh, but listen, I still played 2 games. I toughed out 2 games and we won both games. So yeah, my for shits and giggles is getting knocked over and acting like I was okay.
Did you just fall, or was it a fall and roll?
Bro, I feel like I rolled a little bit too. I'm like, what the fuck? Man, bro. Boy. I said, okay.
Yeah,
So,
I want to thank everybody too that's been commenting, man, and we appreciate and want to let everybody know, the For Shits and Giggle podcast, the way we're trying to separate ourselves from everybody else is being a live podcast, and we appreciate all the crowd participation and comments and everything to keep the conversation rolling and add more facts and stuff to the comments. So appreciate Will, Chad, Pops, Todd, Lark, and others that we saw making comments today. So we appreciate y'all and hope that y'all continue to follow us and chime in.
all right, man. Love everybody. We'll see you guys Thursday, man, for shits and giggles, man. Happy birthday, cuz.
All right, thanks, cuzzo. Love y'all.
Happy birthday. Be easy.
Yeah.